if I was Floyd and he was me, he would never have to fight again because that exhibition shit.
Yeah.
As me being his little brother, hey, little bro, we finna do 10 rounds, and we both gonna get 100+ million for it,
right?
And we ain't never got to box again. Well,
right.
well, I already been getting these bet, but. The JBT is back at it again, y'all. This time, amazing raffle for the holidays. You know, replenish the pocket. Sometimes things go grim and, you know, you spend a little bit more than you anticipated, but we're here to help you out. $5 to get you in, $20 to get you in 5 times. For winner takes half. Hold on. I didn't know that was the details, y'all. Hold on. Cut.
Hey, Remo.
Hey, yo, Karen, why y'all ain't let me know that the prize was winner takes half? Now, this is dope.
It's been running for some time now, silly.
Is JBT a content creators ought to get into this?
Absolutely not. Are you crazy?
No.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy.
No content creator, just JBT supporters, sorry.
Whatever. Bye. Like I was saying, $5 to get you in 1 time, $20 to get you in 5 times. Winner takes half. You can't win if you don't play, man. Jump in the raffle. JBT Network 1 is the way you get in. Leave your name and the means of contact. And enjoy the holidays.
My bad. What's good, Josh? Shout out to the fam. We back again. We pulling double duty as promised, man. Y'all catch this on the playback. Make sure you smash the like button, sub to the channel, turn your notifications on. Come say what's up to the fam. Join the raffle. Join as a channel member. All that good stuff, man. And let's build on this good boxing, man. Shout out to everybody that's in the raffle and the JBT family. Correction to the video. We ain't giving away half the bag. We're giving away the entire bag. So the winner will be picked December 21st, man. Best of luck to y'all. We appreciate y'all, and we giving back to the fam. Shout out to everybody that's in the raffle, man. Where we at, man? On the likes, man. We at 1 million yet? Not yet? All right, bet. We gonna keep working there. Boxing with 2-4, what's good with it, bro? How you feeling? Crust the legend, my guy. Marcus, what's good, man? You in the building. Big Dre. Opulent, my guy. What's good, family? Gertz, what's good, bro? Cash Sports, the box historian. Mike was good with it. Another Jersey brethren. Dante's Boxing Talk, my guy. PBC back like they got that turkey money. Hey, man. Big Turk out there making moves, man. They ain't feeling Big Turk out there, man. But let's talk about it, man. You know, we was building earlier, man. Shout out to everybody that pulled up for the early morning cook, man. But we back to build for a little bit. And we gonna talk about it, man. One of the fighters that's been MIA since we seen him. The last time we seen him been Errol Spence, man. Dre Smith, what it do, Dre? It been Errol Spence, man. He been out of action, MIA. You know, he's been getting dates and dates are getting yanked back. And, you know, we just been hearing a lot of confusion as to when he coming back. You know, it's a lot of questions surrounding him from, you know, what's left of Errol Spence, right? After everybody seen him lose. Some people writing him off. They saying he's a shot fighter. He done. He should retire. All these different things, man. I'm not one that's saying that. I at least want to see the man bounce back before I write him off. Chop shop. What it do, my guy? How you feeling? So, you know, we've been sitting back as fight fans, just observing the landscape. And, you know, I'm pretty sure the real ones, I got real ones in here. I'm pretty sure y'all still rocking with Errol Spence, wanting to see him sooner than later. Because, you know, the longer you spend out the ring, the more likely it is it's going to be tough for you to win. You know what I'm saying? Nope, none of these dudes are Superman. You know, this is Mr. No Tune-Up himself. He the guy that's always talking about going in there and, you know, just giving the fans the best fight possible, right? So he's stubborn in that regard. You know what I mean? Good for the fans, but bad for Errol Spence, in my opinion, because he's in his 30s. Not no spring chicken. He done had a bunch of accidents and different things like that. So I wish he wouldn't. I wish he would. That's one thing I wish he would kind of, you know, I don't know, adjust to or kind of change. Be willing to take that tune-up fight because you human, bro. You deserve a tune-up, a shake-back fight. You had a tough loss against Terrence Crawford. You ain't been in the ring since. Since then, you split ways with Derrick James. There's been a bunch of questioning about who's going to train you. You know what I mean? If you're going to be ready for the fight, when it's time, like how much time do you got with this trainer? All these different things. They're fair questions, but we all still rocking with EJ because as a fighter, he ain't giving you no reason not to. And it's going to take more than him losing for me not to rock with him as a fight fan. Just on some boxing stuff. I'm not talking about personal life, none of that. Just as a fighter, he gave you the fights that you wanted to see. He did everything and sacrificed to give us the ultimate fight that everybody wanted. And I just can't write a guy off like that and switch up on him. You already know, man. You know boxing with 2-4. Shout out to you, Emmanuel. What it do? DJ Talent building round 2. Kyle Cooler, what's good, family? Yeah, man, I'm trying to grind today, man. So y'all make sure y'all rock with your boys. Smash the like button, sub to the channel, all that good stuff. You want to go a step farther, super chat, cash app. Let's go. But we're going to talk about this. So Errol Spence, right? With all these questions that we got with Errol Spence, he's a cryptic guy. He take the less is more approach. Two fighters I feel like move that way is him and Tank. Right? They post on social media, but it's not a lot when they do post, right? It just be these little cryptic tweets and different things like that. So, I'm just scrolling and I happen to see Errol Spence posted on his IG. And you make of it what you will, but I hope that it means something. Usually when he speak, it means something, right? He ain't the kind of guy to waste your time and mislead and lie to the fans. So he made a post, and when he start putting up them shark emojis, it feel like it's time to see him back in the ring. He said it's almost time. He posted this little video, little short little clip on his IG. And, he letting the people know in the last picture he posted, he said he got a second win, and he said, it's almost time. Post shark emojis. You did. You posting shark emojis, man. If this Errol Spence job, y'all know we follow EJ. This mean it's almost time to go back hunting, man. It's time for Buddy to get his ass back in there. He's saying almost, man. Almost. It's almost time for him to get back in there. And I think it been time for him to get back in there. So I just hope that whatever does come out in the near future, I'm anticipating some Errol Spence news coming out soon because I don't think he would have posted that if not. So that's a change of pace from what we seen him say the last time when somebody expected him, to return. He told him, like, you must be dreaming. Like, I ain't talked to nobody in months. And I thought that was very alarming and, borderline concerning for one of the top earners in the sport to be sidelined and not have no idea when he returning and not being in a position where he's speaking to anybody. I just thought that was crazy. So, to see him even post that, it's almost with the little smile. This is cryptic EJ, man. This is typical EJ. He don't say too much, but when he do speak, it mean a little bit of something, So, like I said, so many questions to answer for him. There's so many questions we got asked that we need answered. And I think the way we get the answer to those questions is seeing him back in the ring. And like I said, sooner than later. So the fact that he said almost is good. It's good. It's a good sign for me, man. I mean, he must be talking to somebody. Big Al is back. Something, man. Something shaking. And it was a bunch of talk about Al being sick or his health not being good and different things like that. So, I mean, something changed the way business is being moved, obviously, right? So I think it slowed down them putting on events this year. And when I heard Steven Espinoza come out and speak and talk about how the networks ain't readily, they're not ready or willing, should I say, to pay for the fights with regularity like they once was. So, that shit got I think that slowed things up, man. And that's the reason I think we're getting pay-per-view fights. That's what he was pretty much explaining, why we having to put these certain cards on pay-per-view instead of them being free. Get what I'm saying? Because in order for them to pay these guys the money that they looking for, you get what I'm saying? They got to get that shit from somewhere. So I get it. But hopefully, like, this means that the big fish is back. I still rock with him. I want to see what he can do when he get back. Fundora, if it's Fundora, that is not going to be an easy fight. Like I said before, I know there's somebody at 54 that he could pick as a tune-up, but he's been very consistent and stubborn in that regard when it comes to, you know, not taking a tune-up, right? So he just don't want to do it, and it is what it is. So Fundora is on the plate. You know, my questions after that is, when is this fight going to take place? Like, what's the time frame like? Where they gonna have the fight at, right? And the question that everybody got, who is Errol Spence training with? I think that's very important. You get what I'm saying? And how much time is he gonna have with this guy by the time he get in the ring? You get me? Because Fundora just not an easy out. That's a tall, long, awkward. You get what I'm saying? Weird. You get what I'm saying? Guy to fight 6'5", 6'6", long ass arms. We got an 82-inch reach. He could choose to stay from distance and box, and he can mix it up in the inside. He a bit of a trick bag to a degree, especially with his height. His height make him an anomaly. You get what I'm saying? That's like the human Slender Man for real. So that's not going to be an easy fight, especially coming off so much inactivity, moving up a weight class. You get what I'm saying? New trainer. That's an uphill battle for Errol Spence. I'm still rocking with him. Fundora going to have to show me, but I already know right off the bat, if that's who you fight next, it's going to be an extremely tough fight for him, bro. That is not going to be no easy fight for Errol Spence, bro. You're going to have your work cut out for you. This long arm, long body, long torso, you know what I mean? Mr. Fantastic. Like, you're going to have your work cut out. So, and it's funny how he got the beat up shark, like with the, you know, the shark that been through some shit because he done took an L. So now he ain't no fresh great white man. He got some damage. He got some wear and tear. He been getting his ass beat a little bit, you know. So let's see, man. I just want to see Errol Spence back in there. Like I said, sooner than later, man, for me. You know what I mean? I want to see the young man bounce back, man. Or the old vet, the vet, because he a vet now. I want to see him bounce back. It's been time for EJ to come back. Put him in the dirt. We need to hear that, man. We need to hear that, but we got to see him win. He got to win, most importantly, bro. This dude got to go out there and beat somebody, bro. Got to go out there and beat somebody, and it's not going to be easy for him. Like I say, guys, work really, really cut out for him, bro. Fundora is going to be a lot to deal with. No tune-ups, kind of win-win. You win people, can't discredit your opponent and win. But if you lose, we can't discredit the fighter because of who they was in the ring with. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure. Absolutely. You know what I'm saying? EJ is, man. And that's why I say that's that throwback mentality, man. Like, he just want to fight the best possible available opposition while not wasting the fans' time with no meaningless fights. And you just got to respect that. So I'm with it, man. I just want to see what's next for him. Man, if it's Fundora, let's get it. Let's see it. I'm busy. My God, what's good with it, bro? How you feeling, man? I mean, easy. I think easy can pull it out. It's not, but yeah, 154. But nah, two things. I agree with that too. And you know, he's fought higher than 47 before years ago, much earlier in his career. So he's no stranger to the higher weight, but he just ain't done it in so long. And I think the biggest concern for me is the inactivity in the new trainer. Not so much the weight class. That's just one of the factors, but I think more important ones are the inactivity along with a new trainer and how you going to gel with this guy. And did you have the proper amount of time to really be able to put together a game plan for some tall, long ass, wiry, you get what I'm saying? Guy that got the height of a damn heavyweight for real. Height and reach is ridiculous. So I'm rooting for EJ. I'm pulling for him. I like your little cryptic post. It's almost time. I know you take the less is more approach, so I'm going to sit back and chill and see when the announcement of something come back. EJ, let's ball. No tune-up. Nope, they don't want no tune-up, bro. Same and Let's Difficult Fight coming back. All the change variables in his career. Absolutely, bro. Like, it's a tough situation to be in, and you asking a lot. You asking a lot, bro. So you're gonna have to you're asking a lot for yourself under the conditions that you in, right? Injuries, a loss, you know what I mean? Inactivity, like it just keep going. You're getting older by the day, right? All of those things matter. So I think you got to take that stuff into consideration with him moving into this fight. So I think, you know, outside of Terrence Crawford, obviously, this I think could potentially be the toughest fight that he's been in. You know what I mean? Because of the change variables, like bro mentioned, all the different changes and the questions that's going to need answering. And what he's going to have to go through or endure in the ring for those questions to be answered properly. You get what I'm saying? He's going to have to go through a little bit of fire for people to really know what he is, or he's going to have to make this shit look convincing. So it's not going to be easy. I don't expect it to be one-sided because Fundora going to get in there and scrap, bro. So let's see it, man. That's the last opponent that I heard from him. I haven't heard anything different. Now we just waiting to see when he going to get an actual solid date so we can see this guy get back in there. So we got Big Al back, Big Turkey. We winning now. Yeah, I would like to see them work together, bro. I ain't gonna lie. I would like to see them work together because I feel like that'd be Turkey's incentive to be vested in making fights within the states. I think part of the holdup on that is probably not knowing the market like that. You get me? You could put on them big crazy shows where you at and all of that stuff, but can you necessarily do that same thing over here? You know what I'm saying? And I think with the help of somebody that's as experienced as Al Heyman in the game of boxing, it could be a potential incentive for him to want to do some shows over here. Because I ain't gonna lie, certain fights that he talked about, I don't care who put the fight on, but to a degree, I do care where the fights are being held. Because don't tell me that our American fighters done put all this work where we at, where they live at, where they from. And when it's time for them to get the biggest fight of their career, they got to leave from where they from, where the most of their fans are going to be at. And it kind of, in a sense, removes the option of you going to a fight. Because I'm going to be honest with you, I'm not traveling to Saudi Arabia for no fights, no time soon. So that's out for me. Ray Patterson, my jersey, Bretchen, what's good, bro? So you should keep that over there in the UK. Shout out to my guy. I mean, look, I'm not mad at Turk. I don't think his intentions are ill. I don't think he has ill intentions, right? I just think he want to put on good fights. But his approach is what needs some brushing up, right? The way you interact and come across to the American public could be a little rough. Like we ain't off it. Like we ain't necessarily feeling buddy. So, just gotta wait and see. Want those belts over here? Yeah, man. Nah, we need to see those big though. I'm not against nobody. If I'll say this too, if there's no opportunity possible for somebody to put on a fight that we want to see over here, and he's the only out, then I get it. But he shouldn't be the only out. The fact that he's talking about putting on fight, man, and I'm just giving y'all a different perspective, something different to think about. The fact that he's talking about putting on fights like, Tank and Shakur, Devin and Tank, or whatever the case, the fact that he's talking that way, that should put pressure on promoters over this side to make the fights happen over here. Am I right? Or am I tripping? Because think about something. He couldn't talk about putting on those fights if they've already done. If somebody beat him to it, if somebody deliver and give the people what they want anyway, he ain't got to be the guy to facilitate it. But if you got to think as a promoter, or not saying that he's a promoter, if you're a guy that's within the sport and you trying to be responsible for putting together cards, right? You hear about a fight like Shakur and a Tank, yeah, you should want to put that fight on. So I don't blame him for that, but I blame, and I don't even want to say I blame, but I look at the promoters over this way like, hey man, what y'all gonna do? You got Turkey over here talking about making the biggest fights with some of y'all best competition. That's how I'm looking at it. What y'all gonna do? Y'all need to secure these fights because then he can't talk about making them. There ain't no way in hell Shakur and Tank should be in Saudi Arabia. And I ain't want to complain about nothing, but hey, man, I draw the line somewhere. You get what I'm trying to say? These promoters over this way should be held accountable for making these fights. They shouldn't have to go over there to make the fights. But what I'm saying is, if the opportunity is there, who am I to tell a fighter not to take it? You get what I'm saying? You got to take advantage of the opportunities when they present it to you. So when people be saying like they run into Turkey and stuff like that, I don't quite look at it like that. I look at it as them taking advantage of an opportunity that's presented to them. Like, what's wrong with, even if he's quote unquote this quote unquote overpaying that he's doing, if you got an opportunity to make a fight, stay busy, and get paid handsomely, why wouldn't you do it? We being real here. These is prize fighters. Dudes is gonna get that bag. That's the incentive. But at the same time, he trying to provide the people with quality fights that we could appreciate. So I don't have a big deal with what he's doing, but I do feel like the American promoters have a responsibility for delivering the fights for us that we want to see. Like these big fights that he's talking about making, that can't be talked about or discussed if they over here handling business and putting on the right fights. Because at what point, like, look at it like this. If you ask me, either we don't see the fight between them two or Turkey put the fight on. I'm sorry to say, I'm going to say Turkey, go ahead, man. Get the roller, get that bag ready. You get me? That's how I'm looking at it. But first things first, I would like for the guys on this side of things, where we at, to facilitate those fights. So we at least didn't have an option whether or not we want to try to make that fight. You get what I'm saying? But when you're taking it away to Saudi Arabia, now we're talking something totally different. So that's all I'm saying. The majority of these guys, fans, not saying they won't travel, but they're over here. That's what I'm saying. So I'm not against nobody putting on any meaningful fights, because I wouldn't be blaming the guy that's putting on the fights. I'll be looking at the promoters funny, because why ain't y'all strike while the iron is hot? Why aren't y'all facilitating these big fights or putting these guys in position to make the fights that everybody want to see, instead of waiting for this guy to do it? Or then, they give us every runaround. You get what I'm saying, as to why fights don't get made. Oh, he's with this promoter, that promoter. This guy's trying to say, well, you know what? Look, here's some money. I got some money. Do y'all want to fight? And then you got people attacking the man. I don't see how that's the issue when you got these promoters over here BSing and playing with us. They got us up here, and I'm saying some of it is the fans' own fault for falling for the banana in the tailpipe. But they got people up on social media back and forth arguing about who the Ducks is. In reality, these dudes don't even have no vested interest in giving us the fights that we'd be arguing about the most. And tell me I'm lying. But then you got a guy like Turkey that's looking at the landscape like, look, I got some bread, or I got access to some money, and I can make some fights. Hey, look, who want to fight? I would like to see this fight, that fight. I'm not having a big issue with them. You get what I'm saying? Because if your sole purpose is just to get people paid and put on fights that people want to see, I don't see where the issue is as a fight fan. I can't have an issue with that. But I would like to see the promoters on this side of things capitalize on the fights that we want to see the most, instead of relying on somebody else to do it, or sitting by, making excuses until another guy like a Turki Alalshikh step in and say, hey, look, I'll get y'all this fight. I got the bag. I got the money for you. You get me? I ain't saying that's exactly what's going on, but it almost seems it's so. So I ain't tripping, but I would most likely, more than likely want to see the fights over here. But if you telling me the choices is either see the fight in Saudi or don't get it at all, hey man, Saudi Arabia, queue up the Riyadh season. You get me? You get me? Rude exposure, my guy. What's good with it, Kurt? What's good, fam? That Turk just talking. That's all he doing, and y'all giving him credit for it. Now, I'm just putting things in perspective. If this is what he's doing, then it's cool. But I don't think it ain't even up for debate for me. I know I haven't praised him or gave him too much credit, but I just don't understand the disdain with somebody that's trying to make fights. I don't understand it. I think people just not used to the way that he going about it. Maybe his approach, like I said. But anybody that's trying to put on meaningful fights and get the fighters paid, if that is what his intent is, that if that is in fact what he's doing, I don't have an issue with that. But I'm not gonna overpraise him for something that he ain't do. You know what I'm saying? Worldwide from San Fran in Japan, boxing hacker, what it do? Turkey's doing well for boxing. I don't care where it's at. Boxing is worldwide. Yeah, listen, I do the reason for it though. Let me say this again. Let me run through it. The reason I would care, I'm not knocking anything, but these dudes made their bones and their names here. Why should you have to travel outside of where you made your name, where the most of your fans can reach you at, to make a fight, when I feel like the promoters that you're involved with over here and deal with on a day-to-day for years on end should be the ones responsible for making those fights, and they should have some type of urgency about it instead of sitting around, like I said, dropping bits and pieces of information to allow the fans to argue about it like birds arguing over crumbs and shit. You get what I'm saying? That you got a guy that want to make the fights and you still got a problem with that. So I don't know how we'll ever get some of these fights. If you got a problem with a dude being willing to pay for for what we say we want to see. You get me? Unless I'm saying it wrong, but that's my interpretation of what's going on. So, you know, but the overpraising is a little strange. Like I don't understand that either. So, you know what I mean? 2 cents boxing, peace to the queen. How you feeling? Aaron was good with it. Ennis still got to fight Ortiz when he get there. Ennis ain't, to me, Ennis ain't got to fight Ortiz till he get there. You know, you get me? Other than that, he just got to get there. You get me? He just got to get there. I put out triple the amount of cars than PBC. Yeah, but they operating on a much different scale too. You get me? They operate on a much different scale. They just came around. They put on very, very good competitive matchups. I feel like everybody should take a page out of their book. You know what I mean? But PBC obviously ran into some things that's changed for them. So obviously the business model had to change as well. Showtime stepped out. Espinoza gave y'all some game, but people just didn't hear what he was saying. I'm be there to see it. Yeah, that's all I'm saying. You can't be there to see it because I ain't traveling to Saudi. It removes the American public that been supporting these guys and paying for the fights all along the option to really see the fight somewhere reasonable without having to, you know, go out of your way for travel. You get me? So I'm not against it, but I'm just saying for those reasons are the reasons why I would want to see it within the States. And again, the onus would be on the promoters over here that's not securing the fights that we want to see and allowing somebody the opportunity to step in and make them. So when it's that, then it is what it is. You get what I'm saying? As long as we get in the fights, I'm cool. But, you know, you still, as a fight fan, especially if you're a person that go to fights, you still want that option to be able to see some of the best fights in the world. Where you from? You get me? Instead of having to travel way outside of where you've been at. You get me? That's all. For undisputed fights, we need to see. Absolutely, man. Good. Getting paid. Yeah, that's all. That's all. Right. Absolutely, bro. Absolutely. Our land is anyway. We out of place and scared to touch different dirt. I don't know why people sound like they're objective to different opportunities. That's how I hear it. That's all that guy is. I just don't understand the notion of running to them. Like people like, well, they're running to Turkey. I don't look at it like that. I look at it as they taking advantage of different opportunities being presented to him. I think he's a bit of a, I don't know, he just came out of left field. Nobody anticipated this dude coming out of nowhere and jumping in boxing, right? So, like I said, if his mission is to put on great fights and get people paid, I can't trip off that. But if he's deceiving the public just like any other promoter, then, you know, my feelings is the same. Is it to be with anybody else? You know what I mean? Saying offer this and that, but not getting the fights done. We want. So what is he doing? Just talking. I mean, they all talking right now. They all talking. So again, it all depends on who you talking to. I'm not a guy that overpraised them, but I'm just painting a picture because I don't know where the disdain is coming in at. I don't get it. You know what I mean, Lisa, peace to the queen. How you feeling today? People want to compare Turkey to PBC, and you can't do it. PBC is a business. Turkey got unlimited funds. There's no comparison, and they've been around putting on for years. 2 cents, like they not a flash in the pan. They've been, what was it, since 2013? I think they've been around. So they've been around for some years. They got some skin in the game. They put on a lot of good shows. I just think that people are unaware that at times in business things ain't gonna always be great. You know what I mean? Platt Boy, what it do, fan? Gonna keep happening because Turkey paying. But that's what I'm saying. And that we got to start putting the onus. Who do you put the onus on? It's not on Turkey if people are willing to take those opportunities. You look at the promoters and saying, why is it? And again, if it's some overpaying stuff, then that's different. But I'm not so sure that that's what's going on either. You know what I'm saying? I'm not so sure that everybody's just being overpaid and you know, but I do think people are being presented with opportunities that they wasn't presented with, right? Jared Anderson, use him as a perfect example. I heard the money was really good for him, so he jumped on that opportunity. You get what I'm saying? But you can't blame a guy for doing that. And, you know, getting the money as well as taking a dangerous fight. But I don't think he get enough credit for what he did because he lost. And people just looking at it, oh, well, you ran to Turkey. You see? They just, I think that's a wrong way to look at it, man. Dude took a dangerous challenge in a fight that nobody wanted to take. But he also was probably getting offered some money that his promoter wasn't offering him at the time. So he went and took it. I would have went and got the bread too. Turkey and honey pie, I think so too, man. I think so. Mr. Empire would have do, my guy. Poet would have do, fan. You know that the promoters get paid from a cut with Turkey's paying their fighter. Nah, I wasn't. You know, I never even paid it any attention. Shout out to Poet. A1 Hoop Zone was good with it. Hannibal was good with it. They will always protect their investments. Absolutely. Named Black American Fighter has won in Saudi. Yeah, they've been getting their kicked. But I don't. You think it's you? I mean, look, I could drop the link because we can build on this, man. You know, shout out to Claymore Rain. We could build on this. I think. I just think that's like the roll of the dice kind of thing more than like because I hear people saying he getting our fighters beat. Like I don't quite see it that way. I look at it as he's presenting guys with opportunities to make good money. I'll just say that because I don't know how much he paying or not paying. So I'll just say he giving people opportunity to make really good money and being a competitive fight. And I think sometimes when we've been getting our asses kicked. You get me? I think that's just what it is. We've been getting our asses kicked. That Bacoli move was a dangerous move. Know what I mean? That's why I was hoping to see Core gonna get a dub for the American fighters. You can go over there to Saudi, but that's against the American fighter. So it's crazy. But yeah, man. Claymore, what's good with it, fam? How you feeling? Boxing in a state of need, especially PBC fighters right now. And Turkey has access to resources, to space, taking offense because they have a false idea of ownership on the sport. That's interesting. I like it. So it's Turkey fault we losing? Nah, I don't think so, but I've heard people say it. I don't think it's his fault because I think he's just providing the opportunity. The fighters, I think, have a they have the option to say yes or no. You get what I'm saying? Just you back. You already know, Mark West. Shout out to you. And shout out to everybody pulling back up for this second round of cooking, man. Big Dog Willie, what it do, my guy? Tank Canelo are against Turkey. And I heard, Canelo speak more recently, like he's open to work with him and stuff like that. But I never quite understood, like, Tank's reservation towards Turkey, right? I don't know what the reservations is. Like, I ain't saying you have to go anywhere, you know what I'm saying, to do anything. But I don't know. If he could provide an opportunity that you can't get elsewhere, I don't see it as a bad thing. I mean, P. Hunter, what it do, fam? He's getting fighters that aren't top tier beat. And again, shout out to P. Hunter. For me, I don't look at it as he's getting guys beat because he can't change. He can only offer up the opportunity. It's up for the fighters to take that opportunity. So I think, like, for me, I'm a realist. Like, I don't know how the hell could he get him beat. You get what I'm saying? People saying the same thing about Eddie Hearn. Oh, he getting fighters beat, especially after taking a couple L's with what's his name? Mark Castro and then Jaleel Hackett. They say he getting fighters beat. I'm not understanding it. Like, on one end, we want the promoters to provide opportunities, and then on the other end, when that opportunity don't pan out, maybe the guy take an L. We like, look, he getting guys beat. Like, I can't. There's no way I can make that math for me. That's not math for me. Is you provide an opportunity for a guy, you have an option to take it. And in some of these cases, the guys chose the opponents. They chose the opponents. You get what I'm saying? They had an option. So it's guys really getting themselves beat by maybe they being blinded by the money or the opportunity and then not really preparing for the challenge. But I can't look at it as the promoter that's providing the opportunity, is the guy. Yeah, you getting them beat because you could simply say, no, I ain't good with that, right? And I just don't see how he can have any impact on what's happening unless we seeing guys go over there and get bad decisions. And I'm not seeing that. You know what I'm saying? We seen, in Jared Anderson's case, he got sparked. You know what I mean? Hardcore Casual was good fan. Boxing, I said, wonder if Turkey will make Shields versus RemyMa. Somebody got to make it at this
and we ain't never got to box again. Well, right. well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just.
Shout out to Claymore. He said Turkey simply offering an opportunity. Shout out to Boxing Hackers. Opportunity at a high level for a high payday and competitive fights with risk versus reward consequences. I think so, bro. I think so. I think it's just tough to say that you're getting somebody beat because you're offering an opportunity. You know what I mean? It's really not about need, though, bro. It's not about need. It's like, is there an opportunity? Should you revisit that? Is there an opportunity that he could provide for you that'll be worth it? You get me? Like, I'm not understanding this whole, like, it got to be American or nothing. Like, I don't see that, Now, again, he might not need him, so maybe that's why. But hey, you know what I mean? But that's not the case. How many tanks do we got? So he's one person. So if you want to not deal with him, that's fine. But you can't expect everybody else to have the same approach. If your thought process is, oh, he's for people that don't sell and they need the help, well, there you go. It's going to be people that's going to take those opportunities to make the money. And that's just what it is. I don't think nothing wrong with it. Like, I just don't understand what the issue is to do business with him. Like, it's a bad thing. Like, and I don't think he's out here getting guys beat or nothing like that intentionally. I don't see that. You know, I don't see it. That's just me. But I'm not about to overpraise either, though. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to do that. You know what I'm saying? But I think, you know, a guy provide opportunities for fighters is not the bad guy. Like, again, because we could have that conversation. I'm trying to, what is bad about it? You get me? I don't know. So I can't see that he's getting guys beat. That don't make sense. Don't need them. Trust me, they wouldn't go over there. Yeah, but it ain't about favorite fighters. Like, what is the bad thing? What's the negative? Like, what's the drawback? Like, what's the reason that guys shouldn't go over there? I think that's some, like, what's the word I'm looking for? That's not the right energy, though. Like, everybody is not in the same boat. So if you some cash cow and you don't need them, all right, you stand on that, no problem. No harm, no foul. But if you're a guy that could use the opportunity, then what the hell is the problem? I don't see a problem either way. If you want to stand on your square and say, look, I'm cool over here, I make my money here, I'm great, no problem. But don't think everybody else is supposed to feel the same way. I'm only speaking for the fighters. It's an opportunity. Do you want it? Yes or no? It ain't no, oh, it's a handgun to your head, and they like, look, you signed it. Like, nah, it ain't no, you know, it's like, yo, you want this fight? If so, I got this opportunity. Here's the money. You want it? All right, nah, cool, move on. Yeah, it can happen. That's all. And again, if these promoters on our side, this is all I'm saying, if they're gonna keep dragging ass and we gonna keep putting up with the same bullshit excuses year after years, a lot of fights didn't get made, then you got a guy that's trying to say, hey, look, what's going on? You need what? You need what? All right, boom, I got it. Y'all want to fight? Cool. And they like, man, you see, they're running over there to Turkey. I'm like, what? I'm not going to provide opportunities over here. I want to see the fight. If my two choices are don't see the fight at all, if it's going to happen in America or it got to happen over there, then it got to happen over there. Like, if that's my choices, you get me? But I said it. If I have a choice, of course, I will want the fights to be facilitated where we will have a better shot at being able to physically travel and go to that fight as opposed to traveling to Saudi, unless you somebody that want to do that. I don't plan on taking that trip no time soon, but I'm not against it if fights are not being made. Promoters got to look at themselves and say, hey, man, why are we sitting back allowing this guy to facilitate fights that we had ample opportunity to make? He just came around. That's all I'm saying. Strike while the iron hot. Stop sitting around. You feed the fans all types of excuses to why these fights being made don't get made. And then when he offers some type of possible solution, it's like, you see, nah, man, why are they running over there? It's like, bro, people want opportunities. That's all. They want opportunities. Shout out to everybody in the building. Y'all smash that like button, man. We're going to keep rocking. When we talking about everybody else, bro.
Yeah, yo, just do salute, man. Salute. I see we got some
come up if y'all want to build, bro, because it's a conversation for me, but I don't
claim what's happening.
Point out a negative.
What's good, big dog?
You know, but go ahead.
T-Hill, what's happening?
Hey, you got the best hand, big dog. Willie, you already know you my man, dog. Shout out to my good brother, Jusdueboxing, a.k.a. The Voice. Always giving boxes is just do. Well, and we ain't never got to box again, you know what I'm saying? Also, shout out to my good brother, Claymore Rain, you know what I'm saying?
Joseph, what it do?
Always good talk, boxing talk over there with my good brother Clay and Ray. Can you highlight the one before that with Hannibal? I'm pretty sure that Clay nor Ray blocked you, man. Sometimes it be the moderators, bro. And
I gotta look into that and see what that is. I know it wasn't Ray, and I know it wasn't me for sure. So
right. That's what I'm saying. Like, yeah, the energy is directed to the wrong person. Like, I don't know. And I keep saying this. I'm very down the middle type of dude. You ain't never heard me praise him. You ain't never talk about His Excellency. They can call him that. I call him man by his name respectfully. I ain't got to call him all types of wild names.
But
I don't see the issue that people are making, right? They saying he ain't doing nothing, but I mean, at the same token, they saying guys running over there. So which one is it? Because if guys are running over there, that means he's providing an opportunity that maybe these guys couldn't have got where they was.
There's only a certain amount of fans that do that. There's only certain fans that do that.
It's people who have. It's people who have taken owner. That what's happening that I see right in the boxing space, and especially across these platforms, and is people are taking ownership of a sport, and what they're doing is they're reacting as if there's a threat of them losing something that's theirs, right? And from the fighter's point of view, from the boxer's point of view, the more open the market is, the more competitive the market is, the better it is for them, right? The money, the opportunities, the competition for a fighter to be able to be like, I don't got to take this certain deal because there's other opportunities out there for me. It makes it better for the fighters. It makes it better for the space. Now, as far as Turki Alalshikh making fighters lose, guys, let's use our common sense to be honest, bro.
Yeah, that's bullshit.
The fighters are fighting, bro. And if they lost, it's because they lost a fight. Setting up a fighter to lose almost in a way sounds like, yeah, man, we cherry picking over here, and you see them. It just sounds bad, right? You know what I'm saying? To say that you're setting somebody up to lose. No, that person wasn't as good as they thought they were. But look, here's a turnaround with Turki, right?
They took a real challenge.
They took a real challenge.
50-50 fight.
100%.
And what happens in 50-50 play? The guy could win.
Exactly. And just on top of that, they're getting paid to take the higher risk, right? So Turki's saying, listen, I'm going to offer you a payday, but it's going to be a competitive fight. You're going to be in a real fight. You might
supposed to do.
Exactly. You might lose, but you see how conditioned we've become over here to the point to where we'll look at a fighter, get into a fight and lose, and look at that as diabolical. Right?
Yeah, like somebody is intentionally doing it.
Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. He just providing the opportunity. Y'all tell me if I'm crazy. What am I saying wrong?
Yeah,
they have lost, an opportunity to say yes or no. If
did the judges steal it from him?
He moves on.
Right. Simple. It's like, did the judges steal it from him? Was he set up? Was
if I see that, then cool. If we going over there getting screwed, I'm like, hell yeah, get his ass out of boxing because we ain't need. That's the last thing we need. But I've been seeing competitive fights, but Coley was a big jump. I mean, his promoter was like, hey, man, I don't think you should do that. I heard he heard the money and was like, yes, it was yes before he even heard the name. Damn near, you get me? So
do better, right? Do better, bro.
And they said it'll be more opportunities for him after that. So I appreciated that because they're not throwing him away. They letting you know, look, all right, you lost, but it's going to be more. I read this word for word. They like, yo, it's going to be more opportunities for him. That's all I want to see. And that would be something too to think about. Oh, well, you lose. Now we're done with you.
Right.
That's not what's happening either. So I'm not necessarily connecting the negative energy to him. I don't get it. Am I missing something? And y'all know me. I'm a fair person. Let's have a conversation. It's just the build. The build. Nobody's wrong in here. You know what I'm saying? I want to hear what y'all think. But
all they have to do is become more intelligent about their choices. Be intelligent about your choices.
For boxing. And he's not the bad guy to me. I'm straight down the middle. I'm still in the back in the cut looking to see exactly, you know what I mean, what he gonna do for boxing. Is very early. It's very early.
I think what it is that a lot of the fighters that were like Tank and Canelo, I'm gonna use them because they're the ones that getting brought up. They're losing fighters to fight. I won't say cherry pick, but to pick from. And when you just go over there and get a fight with like Shakur or somebody, go get a fight with Turki because you don't want to wait for you, or somebody like Benavidez don't want to wait for you for Canelo. It makes them not be more wanted to. People don't have to wait to fight them. They can do other fights and make good money at the same time. And that's the problem. That's why people are getting upset with Turki because they're making the stars have to actually work and actually fight the people that they're supposed to fight.
Mm-hmm. Or take risky ass fights, and to a degree, that's what we be saying we want to see. We be saying we want to see people take challenges. I heard Keyshawn Davis ain't been fighting nobody since he was 4-0. And then when we see God take a challenge, he loses. All of a sudden, somebody's fault other than the fighter just took a loss because it was a 50-50 fight. It was just competitive. That's what happened. I don't think they'll say what a 50-50 fight is, but you won't highlight what that entails. That means either guy can really win this fight. And when it's not the guy that you favor, I'm not looking to blame nobody. I respect the fighter for taking it. I'm looking at Jared like, look, they can say what they want. You was getting your head spun, but damn, you kept getting up. And damn, did he admit to the wrongdoings immediately without making no excuses? I'm like, look, on to the next learning experience, bro. You gambled on yourself. It didn't work out. Let's see how you bounce back. But I don't look at Turki and be like, you got him beat. Hell no, because Jared could have said, nah, I'm cool. I'm going to just do with Bob, whatever Bob got going on. That's what I'm going to do. He didn't do that. So I'm not mad at that because we ask fighters to do that too, right? Gamble and bet on themselves. That's also what guys are doing in these riskier fights. Shout out to A1 Hoop Zone for the 10-piece. He said, people kill me when trying to give career advice to fighters when they're not in the know. These fighters going to make decisions based on what's best for them and their fans' names not on them checks. That's the truth. That's why I come from a place where I'm always trying to understand the move before I critique it. You get me? Like, I want to understand why you did what you did because I can't tell you how to do what's best for you. And I don't know what you feel like is best for you. So a lot of times we feel like the fighter should do what's best for us, the fight fan. And I get it. Give us the fights. I get it. But got to be real, man. Sometimes what's best for them is not what's best for the fans. And that's what we get.
Just, I would say that as a fan, it's not your job is to put pressure for the fight you want.
Right.
Apply the pressure. Let them know what you want. But at the same time, the boxer's job is to do what's best for him. He balances out the risk versus reward. He's the one putting his ass on the line inside that ring. He's the one who's going to get the rewards, and he's the one who's going to walk out the knots on his head if it don't go the way he wanted to go. So we have to kind of balance that, right, at times. But trying to dictate how this sport plays out as far as on a business level gets kind of diabolical at times because we start to talk like we own something, right? And we start to get threatened when something is happening. We start to be like, hold on, they're not going to take nothing from us. And if you want to fight back with this and you apply the pressure to the promoters stateside to step up their matchmaking,
That's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying, bro.
Let's be honest, Justu. If it wasn't an opening spot, if there wasn't a dire need, if there wasn't a hunger in the sport to see more competitive boxing, Turki probably wouldn't even have blinked an eye at the sport, right? He saw it from a boxing fan space first. It was like, damn, why aren't these fights getting made? People are telling them, oh, these guys is asking for so much money. They're saying they need this, they need that. There's across the street politics going on. And he's probably thinking like, I could probably handle that. Let me talk to the Prince and the King over here and see if they want to get busy and get into boxing. If that's the only problem, let's go ahead and facilitate a space for all the promotional companies to come and compete. And let's pay these fighters what they're asking for so that the boxing fan can get what they want, which is the best fight. Boom, it catches. The fighters are loving it. Man, we love to pay. Now it's moving in a certain way, right? But it's no diabolical villain like movie type of narrative getting pushed to take boxing away from America. Fight for it. PBC, Top Rank, Golden Boy, all you guys stateside, work together for the love of God. Cross the street and make these fights happen. And then we won't be dealing with all this stuff, right? But until you guys are willing to do that, we ain't trying to hear it as fans. Right. We're like, yo, y'all not gonna do it. If Turki's gonna do it, we just want to see the damn fights, bro.
That's all I'm saying. I'm not trying to praise him or nothing like that. Hell no. But again, I know a lot of what he's done has just been talk, but that's what all promoters like. But if you just listen to the fights that he mentioned, and they're pretty damn good fights, they're competitive fights. It's not bullshit. But I think if he's able to actually secure these fights, then people, you kind of earn more of the trust of the people because they'll see it from that end. Sound like to me, and again, it's very early, but if you want to get people paid, and that works for the fighters, so they're satisfied. If you want to put on a competitive fight, that's for us, the fans. We're satisfied. You get what I'm saying? I can't see an issue with it, but it's just early, and I get what y'all saying. He's talking a lot. Y'all want to see more. I get it. The jury is still out. That's why I said it's still early. That's why I don't know where everybody got all this like aggressive, mad energy with him. I think his approach need work for sure. And I said this before. I think it was where he came from. Like, you over there, they calling you His Excellency. Yeah, you got a weird ass approach. Almost this get down and lay down. I ain't feeling that neither, y'all. I'm right with you. All I'm saying is I'm so much of a supporter that I just want to see the fights, and I'm not against anybody. If I always say this, if his intent is truly to just bring good fights and get people paid. You get me? The jury is still out because we need to see some type of track record. That's why I said I'm just going to sit back and watch and see how it all plays out. Shout out to
and we ain't never got to box again. Well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just due.
These dudes is hilarious, bro. So let me get this straight. For the people who aren't finding anything in the fights that Turkey's putting together, that's what's up. But you guys think you could play a mind trick, right? Like you want to try to convince me that I'm not seeing what I'm seeing, right? I'm seeing great fights. I'm seeing a card coming up February 22nd that I can't wait to see. I'm excited to see these because I know how competitive they are. And you want to sell me a story about how that's not what I'm seeing. Show me where these fights are. We don't see these fights, brother. Don't watch not another damn event. You understand me? No skin off the back of my hand. I want you to understand me, right? No skin off the back of my hand, bro. Enjoy what you like, but there's obviously a demand and a boxing fan who sees some sort of benefit in these cards that this man is providing. And for that boxing fan, we couldn't be more excited about what we see happening in boxing. For the other guys who see no benefit in them, come on, bro. We are in America, brother. Peanut butter and jelly for some people, ham and cheese for others. You understand?
But you have to take all this. You have to take all this into a major perspective.
Talk to me, P. Hunter. What's good, brother?
What's going on? You have to look at this in the perspective of just how, let's say, boxing in the USA. Boxing in the USA has been on a downtrend for a minute now because, let's face it, once they started, and I'm going to get kind of political, but once they started taking the police athletic leagues out and kids couldn't box anymore, talent has started going downhill. Now, that's happened over, a few years. So right now, I think boxing as a sport in the US, maybe 8 or to 6, depending on what poll you look at, or depending on what research you look at. So you have a whole bunch of competition within America to basically cannibalize in itself, where boxers in America, they're not going to get what they used to. They're not going to get the fanfare they used to get unless you're very special. Then you'll get like a Bud, like a Spence, like a Tank. They'll get those, they'll get the fanfare, so to say. Now with Turkey coming in, he's going to get the boxers paid, and he's going to make good fights, decent fights, or whatever the case may be. But I have my cousin played in the NFL for like 10 years. He said, our egos. And that's what Turkey's not going to be able to provide right now, because these boxers, not all, but some have huge egos. And if they come back to, let's say, America or whatever, and they're not getting the fanfare they think in their minds they should get, that could become a problem. Turkey's going to have to switch, like you said, he's going to have to do some things different, with the fact that he's going to have to start doing more fights in America where people are used to seeing them. So, that's what I'm saying. You have to take the whole thing about just boxing just not as good as in America because kids are just not boxing as much. And then you have to take the fact that if we're going over to Saudi to fight, and it's like, damn, I'm over here making most money I've ever made. But when I get back to America, people looking at me like, who the fuck are you? I'm sorry to curse like that. But, that ego's a strong villain when it comes to certain people and certain, just overall, but it's a very strong thing. So, I think he's going to have to change the way he I think he's going to have to make more fights in America. And right now, he's more on the simp side of things because he's willing to trick on for lack of a better term, he's willing to trick on a girl who don't deserve it. But when that simp turned pimp, then that's going to be the telling factor what is really going to happen with these boxers, because some boxers are going to get cut out. He's going to be like, yo, you know what? Nah, I don't need you. And they were like, well, what happened to the big payday? What happened was you should have got on before and not after.
Yeah, man, right. Get it while it's good. Then get it while it's good.
Right. Yeah, man. But that's how I look at it, man. I think our promoters on our side that's been here with access to these fighters with these, over marinating, that shit got to stop. And I feel like that little Turkey might be putting some pressure. I mean, you can start putting together events that should influence and encourage guys to want to make fights, because they shouldn't have to be made over there. But if that's where I got to see it, like I said, my choices is don't see it or it got to happen there, then, hey, man, cue up the Riyadh season and cue up Riyadh season.
Bro. It is what it is, man. We're going to watch boxing, right? Again, we're going to watch
not against fights being made. That's my only point. I don't care who's making them. I just want to see them. The fighters getting treated fairly. I'm cool with that. I'm at peace as a fan. Get to see a good fight. Nobody got screwed over. We get to see a fight that we need to see. That's worth our time and money. Cool. It's a win. That's all. But I get it. Some people, like, you know, where they like, he the face of boxing, or he's the savior. Nah, bro, boxing don't need no saving. It just need more people that care about it. And that might sound corny, but that's just what it is to me. You just need more people that care about it. And I feel like that if you care about some shit, the right intent is going to be put behind what you're doing. So like I said, it's just really early for that guy, but I can't be mad at nobody flashing a little bit of cash to get the
Listen,
people.
Man, he's making he's striking while the pot's hot. He sees an opportunity and he's taking advantage of it. The only way to fight, this is America, man. This is a free market, man. This is how this is how business works in America, man. Fight back by putting on the fights.
Yeah,
get aggressive with the matchmaking. Straight up. I want to say one more thing just to close out right here. Just to land my plane and say this. The reason why the fighters in America are going over there and they're getting some of them are getting their asses handed to them, it's because the style of matchmaking that's been happening over here for years, bro. It's one thing to not give us a fight as fans and us sit here and, you know, pay high pay-per-view prices for fights we didn't even ask for, but it's also another thing where the fighters aren't developing properly. They're getting caught up in bad habits. They're doing things that they shouldn't be doing because they're not in the ring with the proper matchmaking with the competitors that are going to make them get better and let them know, keep your hand up. You know what I'm saying? You can't get away with this with me. You're dancing, you're showboating a little bit too much in here, and you're going to get caught. So when they go against fundamentally sound fighters who are competing at a high level and can't play those games, they might get exposed. But it's all going to come out full circle at the end of the day.
I agree, bro.
What's in the dark will come to light, bro. When you're talking about competing on the highest level, on the biggest stages, what's in the dark will come to light, man. That's part of the game, and that's what we want to see too.
And you know what's funny about that? It's funny that you spoke about the matchmaking, and when you know, we just speaking about Jared Anderson making that sacrifice to go over there and take that challenge. But if you think, they knew full well, Bob Arum knew full well what his development was and where he was at. He knew full well that he didn't stop making those mistakes that he'd been making, which is why he would have never suggested that he take that fight. And again, fans hear that shit and you'll think, you just trying to protect him. To a degree, yeah, but you also your job is to put him in situations to succeed, not get his ass whipped. But so I think to a degree, he knew what it was. This is why that wasn't part of his plan. But I could understand a guy like Turkey offering it up and Jared just being braver than what a lot of people realize, yo. Dudes,
Jared drink the Kool-Aid, just. You thought he was that good.
Yeah.
That's all.
You know what? Yeah, I'll say this too.
Well, he was looking for that paycheck.
He was used to fighting the smaller heavyweights, and that was a true heavyweight. And his punching power didn't move Coley the same way it did those other guys. And it's a possibility that, you know, the focal point could have been large, you know, due to the money, like you thinking money, right? And instead of the challenge that's in front of you. So yeah, that's why you got to get challenged accordingly. And I thought he took a nice jump there, but you know what's crazy? I'm gonna stand on this, man. He lost that fight not because of skill, and I still think he could have got away with the pulling back shit. He just tried to fight him the wrong way. He was supposed to box that big tree.
He got to learn though, right? Just
right,
this was learning for him. He's gonna be better for this. If he's really about his craft, he's gonna become better because of this.
Right. He said he ain't quit. He said he's still going.
Also,
2 Cent said matchmaking has always happened in boxing. I didn't say matchmaking is bad. I'm saying there's an art to matchmaking. Matchmaking is a skill. You can matchmake to make a star and hype somebody up to make a lot of money, but you have to balance that with matchmaking in the spirit of developing your fighter.
Right.
You want your fighter to get better, and we might have gotten caught up in America with the matchmaking of building up the hype of the fighter and fell off a little bit on the development part of the matchmaking.
Yeah,
that's why they say Top Rank is one of the best developers of fighters, right? In comparison to other promotional companies, because of the way they matchmake. It's a skill to it.
Right. I agree. And I'm with you too, since matchmaking is needed, because how else do you develop and grow? That's why I was trying to have that conversation earlier, because so often we dismiss the development process. And like I said, I use Keyshawn as an example, because damn, how a guy 4 fights in, he talking about I ain't fought nobody. Who the hell he supposed to fight at that early? So it's like, I appreciate the journey on the way to the step ups, on the way to the title fights, working yourself from a prospect to the contender space to the champion. I like all that in between shit because that's gonna tell you the most about the fighter, man. So in the case of Jared, he definitely went off script with that one, and I'm not mad at it because I know, and he knows what he did. You know, he went off script and took something dangerous. He knew it right after he lost. He's like, shit, these dudes ain't want to fight him. I said, like, hey, let me get that. It's all good. I can't be in here straight back making the same mistakes that I made in other fights. I can't do it. That's what I want to hear. Accountability. It don't just stop at the loss for me. I want to see how you responded. You was like, damn, like while you was getting beat up, you knew, like, damn, like you knew you fucked up. So I like it. I like to see it. You learned, and better to learn.
Just that's what separates a badass whooping from a good ass whooping, right? A badass whooping would have been one he took for no reason. A good ass whooping means Jared Anderson might be somebody completely different next time you see him, and be way more committed to the sport, in a way that you didn't think that he would never have been without that good ass whooping.
Yeah, it's some silver lining to it for sure.
It's like your kids, right? You give your kids that good ass whooping, they become better people the next day because of it. If you give them that bad ass whooping, they just hate your ass and become terrorists. But if you give them that good ass whooping, right? You give them that good ass whooping, then dishes get clean, their rooms get clean, right? And all of a sudden they start growing up into some adults. Ain't nothing wrong with a good ass whooping sometimes.
That's real.
So
that's real. Shout out
pose
to the chat fan, man. In the conversation, man. Always a good one, man. What's next?
Before you go to something next, man, let me go. Yeah, you know, I ain't got a word in as well, but my initial greeting. No, that's good because y'all was cooking. I want to say shout out to my man P Hunter because he up here now too. Hey, shout out to the good sister Mrs. Jusdueboxing, always holding it down for the family. Shout out to the good brother, and I mean good brother. You know, well, insightful Mr. M Pride. Shout out to my good brother Aunt McQueen. You know what I'm saying? The loquacious and ubiquitous one. I want to also say, hey man, to expound on it, I think that with him, he was also going through some things mentally that probably took away his focus in the training and then leading up to that fight, man. Because remember, there was a time where he said he wasn't even sure he wanted to fight. You can't go in a ring like that, man, against anybody, much less some threat like Bacoli. I don't think that that also lended itself well to his prospects of going in there and besting somebody that's pretty tough to begin with. Also, I will say this. I think a lot of people have skepticism with their movement into sports in general because of what happened with them in the PGA in boxing, how they started another league there, and it wasn't like it was less competition there or no good events. They were doing the same events they have always done. So it was looking like it's just a chance for them to buy out something just to maybe utilize the bread that they do have to do more things and branch out to get into different vectors and audiences and spaces. Also, I will also say this, and this will be the last thing I'll say. I'll be quiet after this. You said that there are good tail whoopings and bad tail whoopings. This is where the petty part of me gonna come out. You said the ones that are good you learn from. The ones that are bad you don't learn the thing from. What happened in that fight that happened not too long ago between Devin Haney and Ryan Garcia? Was that a good butt whooping or a bad one, man? Because given the way he has been responding and how everything has transpired, it don't look like they didn't take what led to the actual breakdown in the ring as a big reason why things went left as well too. Because there were some things that he has been inherently known to have had as flaws that can be taken advantage of, and they were actually taken advantage of in that ring that night, aside from what many people apply to it as being like Ryan cheated or the Osterring was that. Because a lot of times I think fighters are their own worst enemies, man, and then the people in their corner. That's why it's always good to have people in your corner that will tell you the straight out truth, and they can have a voice that you can listen to. And I think that's especially key in boxing. And that's why I always say you need to have somebody that has ties to old school boxing to know the tricks, the trades, how to adjust, make proper adjustments, and to do the things that is necessary to prep you for what you could possibly go into in that ring. And I think a lot of times that is missing as well in the sport right here. Whereas probably overseas, a lot of them got that old school training going on. So sometimes they can get away with some things because they can do some things that we not ready for.
But you don't also think like you said. But I go back to, it's a lack of competition just from an early stage of people learning how to box until now. It's just not as much competition for people to actually fight good I think this thing, boxing in the U.S. is just very watered down because there is a lack of competition overall. So that's, and like you said, over in the other countries, boxing is probably like the second favorite sport or third, depending on what country you're coming from. So boxing, that's it. It's like soccer. You go to some place where soccer, these kids been playing soccer since they was 2, and they have schools for soccer, and it's just as good. It's happening with basketball as well. Overall, other countries are making a pretty good stance at, okay, we want our kids to specialize in this particular sport. That's all you're going to live, breathe, and you're going to, you're going to damn school. Your school, it's like IMG Academy over here for football and basketball. Yeah, you go to class, but not really. You're here to learn this sport. You're here to learn this craft. And I think that's just missing over here compared to other countries where, boxing is a major sport. So until they fix that is going to continue to happen because it's also going to start rolling over to basketball more than it is right now, because out of the top 5 basketball players, maybe 3 of them are from someplace in Europe. So again, if America wants to quote unquote get boxing back to where it needs to be, they have to spend money and be like, all right, look, you kids, y'all can go to a boxing school and you go to class 2 hours a day and you go to boxing 8 hours a day, whatever the case may be. But until, there's a legit focus, you're going to continue to see kids going over, men going over, over wherever, Saudi, and come back over here getting beat because it's not enough competition makes you stronger. Like iron sharpens iron, and it's not over here. It's just not enough competition for people to say, well, damn, you know what? I spent my first 3 years getting my butt beat in the gyms constantly because it was just that much competition. Now it's more like, I'm the man because it's just like, big fish, small pool. And that's what's going on right now.
Right. Yeah, I could feel that. I think the competition is there, but the matchups the fights just need to be made, man. So it's like how often you could probably go from heavyweight and work your way on down. There's probably several matchups right there for the making that they for whatever reason they just not pulling the trigger on. And shout out to LetsBuild, the plug, man. Real quick, that she fighting Jessica. What's her name? Jessica Camara. Yeah, that chick is scrappy, but Carolyn is just too sharp.
She about to put them dogs on.
Yeah, she gonna put paws on her. I think it'll be a good scrappy fight, but I definitely got Carolyn winning for sure. I seen that fight some years ago when she fought the chick Callie Reese.
Yeah,
that was a scrappy fight. So I ain't seen a whole lot of her, but from what I've seen, she can box a little bit.
Also, I wanted to make one more comment too, man. You definitely said we gotta, as a people, we gotta like boxing. I think beyond that, we gotta love boxing, because when you love something, you put up with the good and the bad, and you put up with it so much that you're willing to spend the time to correct and invest in the bad. And I agree with what my brother P. Hunter said. I think it needs to start at a younger setting too, at a setting where you're teaching this stuff from the back, from the jump, so that these people will have the backbone they need when it comes time to these tough times and these tough situations, these tough bouts, this opposition and all these other things. You got to have also people willing there to tell you what the do's and don't do's when you're going through a proper training camp, training for styles, being ready for this and everything like that. And I think a lot of that is now missing over here. People are just looking more so for the bagament. And I think
I'll say this as it pertains to that area, man. Something that I've been hearing for a little bit is training too. Like the coaches and the trainers.
For sure.
There's a lot of people posing as trainers, like they getting access to these fighters, but don't really have the knowledge. really teach them. So it's a lot of that going on too. I think that definitely hurts the quality of the sport for sure. Because you need more teachers. You damn sure do. You damn sure need more teachers in the sport for sure. But yeah, man, the over-marinate need to stop, man.
You know what's crazy?
I think the solution is always going to.
That ain't Claressa, bro. What? That's Carolyn Dubois.
That's Carolyn Dubois. I'm about to say.
Yeah, I was confused. I had seen him say Claressa, but I'm like, where Claressa at?
When they said that, I was looking. I was patiently looking too.
And I put it in my community. No, that ain't Claressa either. Nah, that's Carolyn, bro.
But
shout out.
Shout out to Carolyn Dubois. You know what I mean? The solution to all of this is always down to is a free market, bro. It's competitive matchmaking, competitive promoters competing for the fights, and this is going to make everybody move in the right direction. You know, what never works is the monopolizing of the sport, right? For example, what's not going to work is forcing Turki Alalshikh to not have no access to fighters in America and not giving and forcing them to take what these promoters out here are giving them and take the matchmaking. And if you're not a top star, you're down here. And if you're a top star, we're going to treat you like this. Yeah. No, opening up the whole entire playground so that everybody can play. Maybe a fighter over here isn't going to be big, but maybe he'll be big in Europe. Maybe he'll be big in Riyadh. Let him be big wherever he's allowed to be big at. You know what I'm saying? And then maybe he builds himself up to when he does have a fight out here, he becomes a better fighter. Fighter development has to be the goal. Develop these fighters, which happens from fighting consistently and having good matchmaking made without the consequence of being thrown away when you lose.
Right, facts. Remo was good with it. Nick Ballin was good. Question for the panel: who's the better brother, sister, champion, siblings? I knew you was gonna say that.
It's Daniel and Carolyn all day. I don't care.
Damn.
No, bro, you gotta think about it. It might be
maybe the Dubois, maybe because of Daniel. Maybe because of Daniel, he been hotly.
Gabrielle is undisputed now, and
it's tight, man. It's tight.
Yeah, I want to get into the Dubois. I don't know. In my heart, I want the Dubois to have it, but they got work. Karen got work to do.
Hey, I like to see the two women in the ring. But P100, what were you about to say
against Joshua, man? Something like that underdog, man. So I don't know. It's like it's a toss up, man. Because Gabriella, I love the sisters. I'm gonna just say that I love the sisters, bro. Yeah, I love both of these sisters. It
was the term 50-50 that. Man. Everybody says they want to see 50-50 fights. Right. But if you think about it, most boxers maybe only had, except outside of maybe Sugar, Ali, most fighters, they may have only had 2 or 3 50-50 fights in their whole career. And that's why when people say 50-50 fights, I'm like, that's kind of a freak of nature for the most part, especially nowadays. Back in the 80s and 90s, you might have gotten more 50-50 fights, but it still wasn't a lot. And, fighters were fighting bums in between major fights and all that. So that's why, I don't really get upset when people say, well, why is he fighting who? And I'm like, this is what fighters do. They fight whoever. That's what they should be doing.
Right.
Because, even Pac-Man, between the fights when he was rematching, I think it was Morales, he fought nobodies in between those fights, in between a rematch. Because he was like, I just need to get a fight in. He knew he was rematching Morales, but he still got a quick fight in. And none of the fans of Pac was like, oh, why'd he fight that bum? No, that's what he does. He's a fighter. So he took a quick fight in between a rematch, a tough rematch.
Yeah, I got a saying that, fight guys that want to fight you, especially when it makes sense. Because I just feel like that's how you get a good fight. Instead of somebody being handpicked out of a bag or whatever the case, right? I like to see guys really fight people that want to fight them back.
Yeah, that's why I like the Floyd Schofield Shakur fight. That's one of the things I love about that fight.
He wanted to fight. I do believe it's gonna be fun, yo. I ain't gonna lie.
You think it's gonna be fun? He gonna beat the dog snot out of that boy, bro. You already know, dog.
He gonna fight his little heart out, bro. He gonna fight his heart out. Bro.
That's what I think. Fight, bro. He gonna try hard,
and I'm gonna watch him do it.
If Shakur commits,
I will watch.
If Shakur commits to hitting him with some force,
Antonio,
he's gonna knock Schofield out.
Yeah, I don't think it goes the distance, bro. I'm sorry.
Wear that body out, man.
Off on Schofield because he doesn't have confidence in his hand.
Take advantage of the muscles.
Any confidence? Night, Schofield. Thank you for the
same thing with Keyshawn. Same thing with Keyshawn and Tank. I want to see the fight because Keyshawn thinks he can do it, because he wants to do it, because he's motivated, and he's the way he sold me on. Trust me, I want to see it. Do I think he does? I don't know. But I want to see it.
I just he stood on business thus far. We all know that Tank is going to be a much different challenge, but I still like the energy. Like, I think people, we got to not be offended by somebody showing the right kind of energy that a fighter should be showing. And until somebody's proved to me in the ring that he ain't it, I'm going to believe that he want to be great. I'm going to believe that he want to
you definitely want to be great.
He had an opportunity to pick a lesser fight for a homecoming. He didn't do that. I think that's people overlook it, but it says something. We looking at it like, overweight Lemos fought a guy that's 160 pounds that just gave Richardson Hitchens, who just beat Lynn Parrow. He gave him hell, and he go out there and stop him in two. Put in his proper context, a good win. It's a great win, and to pick that in the homecoming, and he catch that interview he did recently talking about all the stuff that they was going through in the lead up to the fight and all that. Now he still on business. Easy. You gotta like that energy. I just like the energy because, like I said, as a young fighter, you just want him to be confident. Because I'm gonna keep saying this. I know I'm consistent. If you talking about fighting Tank and you ain't confident, don't do it.
I want to put something in the air real quick, right?
Thanks.
When looking at boxing from my lens, right, as a guy that started looking at boxing because I liked it. I wasn't in love with the shit, but just the energy around boxing could be so toxic, from the fans to the promoters to all of the business side of it, right? So they want the big fights, but they don't see the big fighters because they only fight once or twice a year because they only chasing them to fight the big fights, right? The money isn't there. Why the money isn't there? Because there is no real market in America for boxing. It's number 14. There's no TV, there's no TV deals or nothing like that. So there's no real mass interest to see boxing consistently on TV. So how you would combat that? You would say, all right, you know what? Let's go about it and get bigger markets. Bigger markets is what the NBA, the NFL, WWF, etc. They went ahead and they went in Saudi and they're in England and stuff like that. So Eddie Hearn comes over. They don't want to put Eddie Hearn in the ring with some of the best fighters, and they can't make the big fights, so he's out of there. Turkey comes over here. They don't want to play ball with him. They want the big shit to take place. They want these stars to be big stars, but the U.S. market doesn't lend for it. So something has to change between the actual business side and the fans as well, because you're gonna get subpar fights, but you get a chance to see your favorite fighter more times. Because in a viral market right now, these kids don't really see Tank Davis to know him. Between him fighting his last fight with Frank, nobody really knew Frank like that as the casuals. And then you turn around, he was locked up. How much did they really see him? So the whole idea got to change around the fight and making the sport actually bigger. But somebody got to bend to the other one to allow it to happen.
The problem is the way the media covers the sport, though, because like how we talking about, American fighters, we have the best fighters in the world. We have the most champions. That's a fact. Like, we are the best. It's just the way the media covers it. So they try to manipulate or try to skew the view and say, this fighter's not that good, or this company is not that good. They try to manipulate and get what they want to do. These foreign entities don't want American boxing to thrive because that's not in their best interest.
Nope. And that's what I was saying earlier. When that simp turns, when the simp turns pimp,
with you, bro? And salute
what's good, bro?
What's happening?
That's what I was saying earlier. Because when that simp, Turki Alalshikh, turns pimp, it's gonna be a whole lot of heartache and crying. Because if I was him, I would do this. I'm like, I got y'all. Now all that payday y'all getting, y'all not gonna get right now. Because you know what? I'm the best product. I'm going to make the best fights. So I don't have to pay you anymore. I mean, I would do that because it makes sense for me to do it. Because that's what happened with the PGA. Because I don't know if you guys have read up on what happened with the PGA and the soccer league. Pretty much, because PJ and Shakur, and I hate to say this, it's going to sound crazy, but PJ and Shakur, you're dealing with a smarter individual. Boxers are usually not that intelligent, and I don't mean to down them, but that's the case. Because soccer, you have to have a little bit of money to play. Same for tennis, and golf, you have a little bit of money to play. So you're usually dealing with a little bit more of educated people, where they're not going to take, they're not going to be swayed by just money. It's going to be a little bit more to it. So right now, he has a good stranglehold on boxing. It's good for the boxers because they get paid, and it's good for the fans. But future on down the line is, maybe because that's the way I think. On down the line, that's when it's going to really be telling, because he could, like I said, he could either turn pimp and be like, all right, well, I'm the only game in town. Y'all got to do what I say, because he's pretty much kind of doing that now with the smaller fish, so to say. But he's going to get the big fish that way too. So again, I could be totally wrong about that, but he may not ever turn pimp, but I think he will.
Yeah, what Turkey is doing is fool's gold. Instead of having these big fights or even the medium level fights where actual fans, American fans, can see them, they're putting them in Saudi Arabia at 3:00 p.m. on a Saturday. Most Americans, we not worried about no boxing. Boxing is a late night event where we get around and watch it then. Man, it's so short-sighted. Oh, he's putting on these fights here for now, but what happens when you have a whole generation of Americans that have never been to a big boxing event because they're not in America anymore? That's how you lose. It starts at the grassroots level.
Will that be Turkey's fault, or will that just be the fault of?
That's why I don't understand American-based channels and American-based fight fans sucking off Turkey the way they do, bro. Everything that you just said, like he's literally trying to take the sport all y'all claim y'all love and take it away from you, bro.
How?
Like that shit's crazy to me.
How can he take that away? How can he take away something that any promoter on this side can put on an event over here for fans to watch boxing?
How many of y'all are Shakur Stevenson fans?
I am.
I know Just is. I am.
Just ain't you like in the Jersey area or something?
For sure.
Is Floyd Schofield probably Shakur Stevenson's biggest fight to date?
I don't know if it's the biggest, but
biggest as in the one. It's the one where he got a lot to prove. It's the one.
I get what you're saying. Circumstances, I get that. Under them circumstances, yeah, he do got something to prove. The lights is on.
Wouldn't you, as a Shakur Stevenson fan based in New Jersey, wouldn't you love to have the ability to go to that fight?
Man, I was just up here talking about that. Absolutely.
he had 10,000. He had 10,000 people at his last fight in New Jersey or some shit like that, right?
I was there.
How many of those 10,000? How many can afford to fly to Saudi Arabia, have a passport, and go watch him fight in Saudi Arabia?
Right.
Of those 10,000, how many of y'all think can have the ability to go to that fight?
I was talking about that before you got in here. I said, yeah, I was talking about it.
All right. So was there somebody else campaigning to throw that fight that Turkey took it from, or was that fight just never even going to happen if Turkey didn't put that fight? Who was it? Was it Oscar? Was it Eddie Hearn? Was it the PBC? Who was campaigning to give us Floyd Schofield versus Shakur Stevenson?
Eddie Hearn and Oscar De La Hoya were trying to make that fight, but they suck at their job so bad they can't make a single good card or a single big fight without Turkey.
All right.
If Oscar De La Hoya ain't fucking with Turkey, Oscar De La Hoya giving you a Thursday night card. or if he ain't fucking with Turkey, you about to get a main event this weekend: Alexis Rocha versus Raul Kirill.
All right, that sounds like they couldn't do it.
With John Scrappy Ramirez, the fucking co-main event.
I believe it. I'm hearing all that, man. So why does it sound? I don't understand when we're talking about a Floyd Schofield versus Shakur Stevenson fight, and the idea behind it is that the reason the fight is not happening in America is because of Turkey. I never even heard of the fight until Turkey was willing to put the fight on the card on February 22nd.
They literally were talking about making a fight, but in order to get Oscar to capitulate, they have to overpay Floyd Schofield, which Eddie Hearn isn't willing to do. So Floyd Schofield is literally going against his promoter and getting a huge bag to fight a fight where he's going to be an underdog again. When Oscar didn't want to make the fight because Oscar don't think he can win the fight. Eddie Hearn wanted to make the fight here in America for Shakur Stevenson. They were trying to make it in New Jersey, but he can't pay Floyd Schofield what Floyd Schofield really deserves. You got to overpay these B-side fighters to get them to take a real fight because they know they might lose.
Does Floyd Schofield deserve it, or is he getting overpaid?
He's getting overpaid for sure.
So he doesn't deserve what he's getting, right?
Fuck no.
All right, so the fight doesn't happen then if Turkey doesn't put the fight on, right? Because of Schofield wanting more money, right? Not because of
100%. The problem, and so I heard the homie talking about some about the problem in boxing and American boxing. It's two main things in my personal opinion. Number one, the product is trash. We have to wait too long for the fights that we want. And when we get them, they either 5 years too late or they never fucking happen. So when you compare boxing to the NBA, to the NFL, to whatever sport in America that's more popular, one thing those fans never have to worry about is the product that they're going to get because they have to play against everybody. And when you make it to the playoffs, you make it to that shit based off your record and you don't get to fucking pick and choose. Whoever win, you got to play that motherfucker in the next round, whether you think it's a bad matchup, whether you suck at stopping the run and that team can run real good, we don't give a fuck. They won. Figure it out. If you can't stop the pass and you suck against quarterbacks and Patty Mahomes just happen to be next, well, guess what, nigga? Patrick Mahomes is next. You got no choice. If you suck at defending the three and you don't know how to stop the three ball, well, guess what, nigga? We don't give a fuck. Steph Curry and them won. You got them tonight. Good luck. Good luck to you. Boxing doesn't move that way. So number one, it's the fucking product. The product is trash. Number two, Floyd Mayweather fucked the game up to where all these people who have not accomplished what he accomplished, did not take the sacrifices that he took, are now demanding these paydays that literally the market that they're in and the revenue that they generate literally says they don't deserve. It's not like a fucking opinion, or it's not a just me pushing the narrative. You literally have fighters that want a purse of $3 to $4 million when they fight on free TV and they can barely crack $1 million at the live gate. That's the fucking that's a problem, bro. That's a huge problem.
Of Turkey coming in and saying, "I'll pay everybody anything just to make the fight happen."
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Instead of being smart as fight fans and being like, "Look, all right, I want this fight, but I know this dude over here does this, and this dude over there does this. I'm gonna push the dude who's asking to be overpaid to cut that shit out, get you a fair wage that's gonna be what you're worth, and then let's get the fight cracking." The sport in boxing will only grow in America if you can make money on it in America, and you can't make money if motherfuckers is getting overpaid. That's why Turkey right now, he don't give a fuck, but he's losing money every event that he fucking puts on, bro. Every event that he puts on loses money. So you have to either hope that he's willing to do that shit forever, which I don't know any rich people that's just gonna continue to throw away millions for the rest of their fucking life. Get ready for the other shoe to drop, like P. Hunter was saying. Eventually, he gonna be like, I got everything. I done bought up Golden Boy. I done bought up Top Rank. Okay, I got
good, Brody.
The last one in America that was holding strong, PBC. I got them. Okay, now bet. Guess what, you niggas? It's one belt. I run shit, and I know I was giving y'all all them paydays, but you niggas finna fight for $200,000. I got to start getting some of this money back. So you either fight for $200,000 or you don't fight at all. What y'all gonna do? That's what those are your two options. Either he gonna keep just giving millions and millions and millions and millions of dollars away and losing money every event, or eventually he gonna be like, yeah, I want to make that fight. I own everything. It's gonna be in Saudi Arabia, nigga. Y'all fighting in Saudi Arabia for my prince, and then when you fight in Saudi Arabia for my prince, he'll go $200,000 for the main event. The rest of y'all get $50,000 a fight. If you don't like it, I guess you can go box on a local show somewhere for $5,000. That's what I got.
That'd be wild.
That would be horrible. I ain't gonna lie to you. That scenario would be crazy, and I hope. I really hope that doesn't happen. That would be diabolical.
Claymore, you're smart. Claymore, you're smart. You're smart, Claymore. You really believe that for years on end, he's just gonna keep losing millions and millions and millions and millions. Just like they already. Bob Abraham already told y'all, bro. They pulling the reins back. He already told y'all, if you want the Saudi money, you got to take your ass to Saudi. Now they got a big budget, but they're putting all the fights over in Saudi. Since Bob Abraham said that, That Mexico card that they put on, Saudi Arabia. This Fury Usyk card in Saudi Arabia. That February 22nd card, guess where it's at? Saudi Arabia. Like they letting you know. If you paying attention, they letting you know what the fuck is up.
You want that Saudi money?
Let me just add to what you're saying, right? Because what you're saying was legitimate. Everything from the problem with boxing all the way to the potential threat of what we might go through, what we're risking if we allow Turkey to move a certain way and take the whole sport, right? But that's just a scenario. That's one scenario, right? Here's another scenario. Another scenario is the promoters here in America fight to make fights here in America. They make their matchmaking better. They start listening to the fans and giving the fans what they want. They start to do this, and ultimately a checks and balances system happens, right? Maybe some of the big fights are being Saudi Arabia. Saudi Arabia did one event here in America, and that was right there in Los Angeles, if I'm correct. I don't think they did another one. So it's not like they were.
You're correct.
Right. So they weren't consistently doing events here in America. So I don't think nothing has changed ever since Bob Arum has spoken, even though Turkey pushed back at the idea and said, unless I said that, don't listen to him. He pretty much pushed back at what Bob Arum said, but he still has to walk it, you know what I'm saying, for us to see that that's what's going to happen. But the solution to this problem is what we're doing here. It's about the promoters over here being more active, crossing the street, making the big fights, making the fights more competitive, giving us fans what we're asking for. That's how you fight it. That's it. The solution can never be, I hate Turkey, he shouldn't be here. No, he came here because it's like your girl. You're sitting here abusing your girl. You're beating on her. You're not treating her good. You're not loving on her. You're not giving her what she wants. And then a dude comes and grabs her attention, and now it's the dude's fault. This dude came. Nah, you got to take some ownership. You was whooping ass. You wasn't treating her right. Somebody was gonna come. Eventually, somebody's gonna come and get her attention. The ownership for the reason boxing is the way it is in America has to be over here in America. It can't be pushed on somebody who came from outside and saw an opening that we left there and is taking advantage of it.
I'm not saying that I disagree, but check this out, Claymore. From my perspective, bro, the one American promoter that's putting on the biggest fights in America, the one American promoter that's actually crossing the street and trying to make big fights, he's putting his fighters on Turkey cards. He's making big cards on his own. He's making cards with him in DAZN. He's making cards with him in Matchroom. He's making cards with him in Golden Boy. The one promoter that's actually competing and giving American fight fans big cards and big events to show up to, that's the one that American fight fans make rumors up of the most about. That's the one that they start shit about the most, calling him broke, saying he ain't got no money, saying that he need a loan to bail him out. He can't pay Tank Davis. He can't pay Canelo Alvarez. So if we gonna say that we want them to step up, how about the one that actually is stepping up? The one that's looking at Turkey and say, man, I ain't bending my knee. We're gonna still put on big events in America. How about we give that one some props instead of shitting on him all the time and acting like he broke when it's really his counterparts that are sucking in America and running in Turkey? Like, Al Heyman got to be the brokest one ever, but he's the one that's actually putting on big cards while Bob Arum and Top Rank can't put on the card without Turkey to save their life. Same for Golden Boy, the other big promoter in America. And then Eddie Hearn, he's big in America. He's running the Turkey too. So the only one that's doing big cards by himself, that's giving you product by himself, that's the one that Black American fight fans in particular shit on them up while praising Turkey. Make that make sense.
Amen to that.
Can I say something real quick? Oh, go ahead.
I just want to respond and say, I hear you, right? All he has to do is just become more consistent, drop more cards, become busier. Because I know me personally, I don't speak for a whole community. Me personally, if I scrutinize what's going over there with the PBC, it's because of what's going on over there with the PBC. I don't wish him failure. I hope that he gets busier. I hope we get way more than 5 events next year. I hope he becomes way more consistent. I'm here to watch boxing. But if I'm highlighting or speaking on something in an honest way about what I'm seeing, I cannot lie for you guys, right? I can't act like he didn't say he was going to do 10 to 14 events and he only did 5. I can't act like Gervonta Tank Davis isn't sitting there talking about retiring.
Over quantity?
I'm sorry?
What happened to quality over quantity?
I'm not answering that. But at the end of the day, you're not going to answer it. I'm not even going to do that right now. You know what I'm saying?
Let me say this real quick. Let me say this real quick before y'all change the subject. I think a lot of things we're not taking into consideration with this whole Turkey thing and the matchmaking thing and all of that. I'm gonna give my 2 cents real quick. first you got to think about Turkey is not a promoter. None of these fighters belong to Turkey. Turkey didn't make no investments in these fighters and building them up. There's a reason why these promoters want to move fighters in a certain way to build them to a certain level, because they've made these are investments to these promoters. Turkey don't have no fighters. Turkey has a lot of money, and I know Clay said he came in and he found some holes. That's not what he did. Turkey came in with a lot of money to throw around, went to other promoters and start picking apart their fighters. He has no invested interest in these fighters. So yeah, he'll throw you in the ring with this person and throw you in the ring with this person. He don't give a damn if you lose. He don't got no interest in you. And that's the biggest difference. Like, people want to compare Turkey to Al Heyman. It's completely different. Al Heyman is running a business. Turkey is a rich nigga with unlimited money to spend on his boxing hobby, so to speak. So
I'm sorry. That's not even the case, bro. That is.
But I'm just trying. Hold on. Let me finish making my point. Making my point. And so that's the biggest thing. These fighters don't belong to Turkey. They're not his fighters. He didn't scout them, pick them. He's not doing nothing. He coming in with a bunch of money and he picking you. Let's take over this business. Let's take over this promotional company. Let's do this. That's the biggest difference. And that's where it's dangerous at. That's what people not realizing. Because if Eddie Hearn putting all his fighters on these Riyadh season cards and then they all losing, and then what Eddie Hearn left with? Oscar De La Hoya, he barely got a company. He damn near about to sell Golden Boy. What he gonna be left with? And that's the point that KO be trying to make. Like, all these fighters, all these promoters is running to Turkey because they don't have the resources that they need to continue to promote and build their fighters. So to me, it's like they just throwing them away. Yeah, the fighter getting a big payday, but what happens after that big payday? What happens next? What happens after you go against your promoter to go fight on the Riyadh season card? What does that do for your career? And then you fool around and lose because you in a whole nother country as an American fighter, and you all know how that go. You get what I'm saying?
I want to just push back a little bit on this and say this.
Hello,
right?
was good, bro.
The fighters losing is on the fighter, man. He's taking a challenge. He's going into a fight that's competitive, and he lost the fight. Here's another thing: Turkey's not throwing away fighters who aren't undefeated. They get other opportunities. This is boxing, right? Boxing and this whole idea that, oh, you're sending them over there and they're losing. You're messing up because you're doing that. No, nobody's sending them over there to lose. These guys think they can win. They're boxers. They got fighting spirits. They go over there to compete at a high level to make a good payday, and they come up short. That's not the end of their life. At least they got some money, but guess what? They get called back again as long as they put in that effort and they made a good fight. Look at Raymond Ford and Nick Ball and the way that fight went. Raymond Ford lost the fight, but it was a competitive fight. He's over here at 130 pounds.
It also was a controversial fight. Same thing with Kevin Farmer, controversial fight.
It was a close fight, whatever you want to look at it, right? But I'm just saying, at the end of the day, he walked away with an L in a very competitive fight. I didn't hear nobody saying it was a robbery. Nick Ball did a great job as well. Any one of them could have won. It was a close fight. At the end of the day, we have to separate a couple of things here. The boxers are going to go compete at a high level. It's closer and more competitive fights. Maybe not 50-50, maybe 60-40, 65, whatever that number is, 25. I don't know if it's 35, whatever the number is. At the end of the day, that's not a diabolical plot that's ruining boxing. That's called competitive boxing. Matchmaking it happens that way when you matchmake for competitive fights, not for just building one fighter and giving him food to eat so you can build up his status. You know what I'm saying? And yes, Turki Alalshikh is not a promoter or anything like that. The same way, I don't know, you know what I'm saying? Al Heyman pretty much entered the game very similar, right? Taking fighters away from other promoters and paying them very well and things of that nature. I don't know if he was necessarily out there in the amateurs grabbing fighters, developing them up from the ground all the way up to the top and doing all that. I don't know if that's what he was doing, right? But at the end of the day, I'll say this though. However you want to look at it, the fighters are making a better living. The fans are getting better fights. There's no monopoly on the sport. The only solution is these promoters out over here in America have to step up the events that they're putting out. They have to step it up, and they have to become more consistent, and that's how you protect American boxing.
But you're trying to say they should compete with somebody where they're not worried about the business, they're making a profit. You can't compete with that.
About the business, 2 cents. You really just don't know that. You're just saying that. Turki Alalshikh has a job that he's doing. He's not out there just spending his money on a hobby. He's hired by the prince and the king of Saudi Arabia to promote this. To promote Saudi Arabia to be one of the #1 spots for sports event. He's not out there playing with boxers. He's out there building something for his country. So, you know what I mean? Just, we got to stop looking at it like that. He's just playing with his money. He doesn't care. He just
said it right there. His country. But
Clay, why would you come take something out of America and then say I'm doing it so people can come?
What did he take? The promoters over here are working with him. And
but I'm talking about the fights, exactly.
And they're not willing to do here in America. Clearly, just like what KO said earlier about Floyd Schofield and Shakur Stevenson happening, that the fight was not going to be able to happen over here because Floyd Schofield wanted certain things that people over here weren't willing to give him. He's facilitating a space to make competitive fights that the promoters over here aren't willing to put together. He's doing stuff that people here aren't trying to do. He's doing things over here.
It's not that they are willing or trying. It doesn't make sense, bro. It doesn't. They're not trying to lose money. You saying they know? Listen, you saying they're not. You're saying they're not. Exactly. I can't compete with somebody willing to lose money, bro. You can't compete with that.
You don't know what their bottom line is in and out. Maybe here in America he's not making money, but you don't know how much money he's making in Saudi Arabia. You don't know how much tourism he's attracting over there. You don't know what the game plan is. You don't know that it's a marathon and not a race. You don't know that he's investing in a certain way right now, anticipating certain returns years down the line because their economy is able to process this product in a way where they can reap a profit from it. Everybody's spending more money. Everybody's spending more money in Saudi Arabia. There's a higher ticket price. It's higher for hotels. It's all kind of things going on.
Clay, who really going to Saudi Arabia to watch fights, bro? Who's really going to Saudi Arabia to watch fights, Clay?
Maybe nobody from your neighborhood and my neighborhood, but people are going over there and watching. And they're trying to do a business. It's not my concern, to be honest with you. I don't care if they're profitable. I don't need to break down their numbers and make their business make sense. I could give two what's about it. What I care about.
Hold on, Clay. I'm just making the point that it's hard it's hard for me to compete in a business when I'm trying to be profitable. You saying, oh, they wasn't willing to put on the Schofield fight. No, it wasn't profitable. It's not that I'm not willing.
All right, so it's not profitable here. So what are we talking about? How can we lose something we never had? It was profitable somewhere else. I'm going to take this phone from America for $500 or $1,000, and you're saying I can't sell over here for $2,000, right? It doesn't make any sense. Nobody's going to pay for it here, but I'm going to take this to another country and I'm going to sell it for $2,000. Now I'm stealing this phone from you? No, I'm making money with it where I can make money with it at. That's not our concern. Our concern as fans is to see the best fights possible and to push on our promoters over here to give us the best fights possible that they can give us. This is how we compete. We don't compete,
but they can't end up well. They can't end up well, though, is the point that people are trying to make.
You don't know that it can't end up well. You think it won't end up well. We'll see what happens.
This would be the equivalent to them taking the NFL to fucking Germany, and you can't go.
No, it's really.
Hey, can I say something real quick?
Is a United States sports. Boxing is an
hold on.
World
Clay,
sport. It's not the same thing.
What's good? Salute. You know what I mean? Just do 2 cents. You know what I mean? Claymore. Salute the panel.
And y'all was one thing. Shout out to 2 cents. She always cooking. Shout out to Clay. This conversation. Yeah. But go ahead, talk to me.
I'm gonna say this one thing. Turkey came in right after, if I'm not mistaken, right after that Bud and Errol, right?
Hey, y'all, I gotta hop off. Shout out Clay. Shout out Judge. Shout out Knockout. Everybody else on the panel. I gotta hop off.
All right. So Turkey came in right after that Errol and Bud fight, right? Somewhere around that, right after that, whatever. And after the Evanesian, probably after that. Oh, and all that stuff. That was supposed to be a big fight, one of the biggest fights for the last 5 years. He's seen how that did, and it didn't do, you know what I mean? It didn't do huge. Well, it did big, but it didn't do massive. You know what I mean? Anything massive. Now, if you take that Ryan and Tank, it did massive. And why people, you know what I mean? Why did that go so big? Because Ryan was so big in the social media light. So my thing is, it's kind of like the NBA a little bit. You know what I mean? How he just said something like the NFL. It's like the NBA. We got these Europeans now, be it Jokic, you know what I mean? Victor Wembanyama, all, you know what I mean, doing all this stuff. But at the end of the day, they're never going to be able to take the league because we still got Braun, we still got KD, we still got Durant, we still got Dame. You know what I mean? All these names that are social, you know what I mean? They are big social media stars, you know what I mean? Along with that. So my thing is, American boxers need to up their social status so can't nobody even take them. And if they up their social status, then there'll be more eyes on them. Kind of like how Ryan did. These boxers are not known enough. It makes no. When I first started hopping on these platforms a couple years ago, I swear to God, I'm thinking when Bud and Errol hit, everybody was gonna talk about it. Everybody was talking about it, but not like everybody was talking about that Mike Tyson and Roy Jones, and not like everybody was talking about this Mike Tyson and this Jake Paul. That's what they need. You know what I mean? That's what boxing needs. Our stars to get bigger in the social light, so we can attract these names. At the same time, circumventing these damn belts because there's too damn many belts at this point.
Hey guys, I gotta go. I'm not going to even lie. I just want to say thank you for everybody. I see 2 cents bounce. Oh, I mean, salute to 2 cents if she's hearing. That was fun. Everybody on the panel, man. That was what's up. We was building. Y'all, I know y'all gonna continue to build, more. Man. But buy and band up. Salute, King. Hey man, boxing first, man. Whatever it takes, man. I think we all love the sport and we want to see the sport grow. We might have different ideas on how to approach it, but man, in the spirit of boxing being great, something gonna stick. And hopefully we end up winning at the end of it. You know what I mean? I appreciate you, Justin. Thank you, man.
You already know, bro. Appreciate you.
Peace, family.
Hey, peace. He said Dub said Turkey bought out Michael Benson Twitter real quick. Let me catch this. Shout out to my big homie J Hard in the Cash App, man. Much love to my guy.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
Big shout out to my guy Kyle Cooley showing much love in the Cash App. Appreciate.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
Shout out to my guys Kyle Cooley and J Hardcore. Appreciate you. Y'all could keep going now. Don't get quiet. Get quiet.
I was just gonna say, man, I appreciated everything Claymore said, but it's a goddamn lie, man. We just shitty boxing fans. Boxing, ain't nothing wrong with boxing. Listen, man, that damn Universal card was on today. That shit was going on for several hours. We on here arguing about boxing instead of watching the shit. We the fucking problem.
I mean, but you also gotta if you're not gonna like I know a lot of people say, well, I'm gonna watch the fight. I'm a hardcore boxing fan. Yada yada yada. The thing about that is that doesn't save boxing. Casual fans makes boxing. Without casual fans, boxing will die.
Exactly.
It will die. So unless you have casuals to like, for instance, my son, he will be like, he's gotten into boxing lately, and he's like, yeah, you know, you're gonna get such and such fight. And I'm like, yeah, I'll probably get it or whatever. But I know fights are big when his crew is talking about the fights. When his crew is talking, I'm like, oh, damn, they know about that fight? And usually ends up being a big fight. Now, mainly it's a Tank or Bud or somebody like that. But, you know, and these are, you know, kids in their, I'm not kids, but kids in their early 20s or whatever. And you need more of that.
Yeah.
Those are casuals. He ain't, you know, let's not
pay for the fight, he ain't
gonna pay for it.
Frequent was good, bro.
I'm not even going to sit here and say I'm sorry to cut you off because I'm not. But
no, go ahead. My bad.
That always sold him the Ring magazine. Hey, what's going on with that? People getting their Twitters bought? Like what kind of what's
Big Turk the man. Big Turk the man.
That's only a part of it though. That's
what's
only a part of
it. That?
The mainstream, the casuals, all that shit is only a part of it. That's only a part of it. And all that other stuff can become mainstream and more generate more interest if we were talking about that instead of talking about fights that we're not getting. There's so many fights happening on a weekly basis that we don't talk about because we're busy talking about fights that aren't happening yet.
For sure. I would agree with that.
We are terrible fans, man. I include myself in that. We are terrible fans. And then here's the other thing. Boxing has already been in the dump, so to speak. It's already been in the dump, so to speak. The shit been dying for how many years now? We've been saying that shit forever. Oh, the sport is dying, the sport is dying, the sport is dying. It's still here. It's still here.
Still here. Facts. Shout out to Ray Davis. Boxing talk.
The thing with that, and salute, and the thing with that is, bro, it's tricky because you got to talk about shit that people care about, and people care about the shit that's not happening, unfortunately. Now, imagine if the shit that was supposed to be happening was actually happening. Now, it all goes back to the product, bro. If you give any consumer the product that they want, then all this shit goes away, and then you get to talk about the fun shit. That's why the conversations around the other sports that are more popular than boxing in America, they're completely different conversations, because all they have to talk about is my team gonna beat the shit out your team. My favorite player is better than your favorite player. Did you see the matchup? My quarterback better than your quarterback. Like, they get to talk about the shit that's fun to talk about because they getting what they want every week or every night. Or every time it's a champion, you know that person was really the best that season. The reason that we can't talk about the shit that's actually happening, like, I'm with you, but let's talk about, like, fucking Alexis Rocha versus Raul Curiel is happening. No one. I think it's a good fight. You and I can talk about it. I think it's a good fight. Natasha Jonas is defending her. She's unifying with Ivana Hibazin. I dare any content creator to put that in their title and watch your viewership.
It's a delicate balance.
That's also another part of the issue, man, because once upon a time, people were curators and tastemakers, and they told people what was important. Nowadays, it's the other way around. And folks are so busy chasing that you're not pointing people in the direction of where they need to be going. I'm not saying this other stuff doesn't have a place. Yeah, there are other fights that I want to see, but while I'm over here complaining about some other fight that I want to see, if I like watching boxing, just watching motherfuckers put hands on each other, it's happening. And there's a lot of quality fights that are just happening below the radar. So there's got to be some sort of balance as far as that's concerned as well.
No, you're right.
Right. It's not just doom and gloom. There's good fights taking place.
And we should cover all of the sport, and I try to do that, but it's just so hard because the shit that's really polarized, that's really gonna get casuals' attention and get people back to the sport. That's the shit that's not happening.
Right. That's true.
That's the shit. Like, you ain't gonna, like, I can get Ant's attention. I can probably get Just Dude's attention if I get to talking about women's boxing and Natasha Jonas trying to unify at 40 years old. I can probably get y'all attention. But that casual fan, to get them to come to the show and then maybe subscribe and then start checking out content and shit, I can't get them over there by talking about that shit.
Right. It's crazy, but yeah, it's a real balance. It really is. You cook regardless, though. I think once you get anybody over there, they listen, though, they gonna sit still.
That's where the brand. That's where that brand and that narrative comes from too.
Y'all can't tell, say, yo, this fight is coming on, and that fight be boring. You get a new subscriber, and we're talking about some major fight, and that fight is boring. The casual thing, I'm like, why they selling me short on some bullshit I ain't want to see? Like, you know what I mean? It's like you said, it's a very hard balance.
Right. Boxing got to sell their stars, and you sell your stars by running them through the ringer, and then still sell them even if they lose and shit. That's the problem.
Facts.
There was a time I didn't give a fuck about Oscar De La Hoya loss and shit, man. He the golden boy, nigga. Run that shit back, give him another big fight. It's gonna go crazy. Let's get it cracking and shit. Now if these motherfuckers lose, they get thrown out to pasture shit. Where the hell is Jared Anderson at, bro?
Right. So while we on that, shout out to Ray Davis, man. Appreciate
and we ain't never got a box again. Well, I already been getting these bet, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
Tell my guy respect the content, just.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well, I already been getting these bet, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
They got to give us a better. They just got to give us a better product, y'all.
I think it's traffic was going on with Spence, man. Because he just posted. I don't know if you caught. You probably did, but he posted almost time. He posted the little shark. He back posting the shark things. Got me a little, interested. It caught my attention because we really want to see the dude back. People threw him away after one loss, just like you was mentioning. It's crazy that he been out the ring that long. And it's just speculation running wild. I would want none more. I don't think it's too many people I want to see win more than him right now. Because of the way
do you understand how, like, first of all, I don't want nobody to misunderstand me. You got a fighter that by the time he fight, probably gonna be out the ring 2 years, got them car accidents, got that eye injury, coming off of a brutal loss to Terrence Bud Crawford, gonna have a new trainer, all that shit, right? Can you imagine how crazy it's gonna be if he actually win that shit, bro?
Crazy.
Like that shit gonna go dumb. He got a tall hill to climb, bro.
Literally and figuratively. Yeah, he do.
Yeah, that shit
like
tough.
Was good with it, fan.
It's just the style that Spence gonna try to bring it to. He gonna try to bring it to front door, and you fight the motherfucker that can throw just as many punches as you. And that's when Spence was at. That's when Spence was at his best. He can let them hoes go 70 to 90 times around and shit. And he was a workhorse. We don't even know if he can do that shit no more, bro.
Right. And that's what I hate, man. But he's saying almost. And then, he got his second win. I know that, I'm an optimistic guy, but I'm rooting for him just because of the way he got threw away. And I get it.
It's gonna be the one. That's gonna be the one I picked, dog. Where I just tell everybody, don't listen to me, man.
You pick it straight with your heart on that one.
Don't listen to me on that one, bro.
I got Spence too, baby boy.
AB come back right there. Who you pick? AB. Okay.
Hey, I got AB. You know AB. AB can be champion again if he let his hands go.
You know it.
Just let them know go.
Talking about he beat that boy. I was over there talking about you. Damn right, he beat him. Look at his face.
And we laughing about it, but that's what we're gonna do.
That's my guy though. Spencer High Coach Red can't beat him. Join him.
Nah, but don't go over there. Don't go over there. Don't go over there, Earl. Like I'll never be able to live that shit. I might not go live for a month. Then go over there and train with them, bro. I'm just gonna cancel the show.
That's Kevin Durant with the damn Golden State Warriors right there.
Yeah, bro,
oh man, that'd be crazy. He said can't beat him, Jonah, but nah, AB was the one. I'm telling you, bro. Beat that boy, man. I'm telling you, he beat everybody.
Dance with who brung you, man. Make up with Derek, man.
Yeah. That's what I said. I ain't even lying. I said that. We talking all this speculating, man. Go with what you know, man. Go piece it up. Ain't no blood been shed, man. Go patch it up real quick, man. You know what I'm saying? Once I seen Wilder with Eddie Hearn, listen, anything is possible. Anything is possible. Bomb Squad of the pictures with a good smile on his face. I say, oh yeah. Yeah, man. Times change, man. Go patch that up, man. You know what I mean? Give it one more run. Maybe try to let his hands go. Lost it too. Now that was wild. I still looking for Blair Cobb for that too, man. I've been meaning to DM him about that too, man. He's the nerve to knock my guy tooth out in front of everybody. Oh man.
Yo.
That was wild. That was wild. Disrespectful, bro.
That was wild. That was a good fight, man. For my man being inactive that long, it was a good fight.
Yeah. For real, Spence should go to Brad, man. He has the best game plans in the game. I like Brad, man. I do for fighters. I just want to see the dude do something that's going to work for him. Like I'm telling you, I would want none more to celebrate his win because the way he got tossed away after sacrificing and giving people the fight, I'm like, that's what we do to the fighters when they give us the fight we want. If they don't win, that's crazy. I don't care how it sounds. That's wild to me. I'm like, nah, I can't do that. I want to see that dude win by any means necessary, but the longer it take, it's like
I was on mute, bro. I'm not gonna lie, but a lot of the contentions that KO brought up align with my logic, bro. It's like, yo, we got to do better with our product, and we got to get away from throwing people away. Because, like you said, man, that one fight. Now, I ain't gonna lie. I never thought in my wildest dreams that I would see Spence look that bad in the ring. But that one fight, boy, they was willing to put that bad boy up in a hospice care. Like the Mickey Fricky didn't even belong no more in the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And, that's how we treat our people.
Right. You got to rock with that, man. Blair needs to fight, man. Yeah, he be calling for any and everything, don't he?
Blair Cobb ain't getting that fight. Stanley On is fighting his mandatory gear sale, whatever that dude name.
Ain't that on the undercard?
It's supposed to be on the Tank undercard.
Right. Ain't Gary and
Gary and Jose Rayo, yeah, they supposed to be on that bitch too.
Bro, that's a
supposed to
must
be a
right
fire
there. I need
card.
to see that. I need to. That's unexpected, and that's a damn good fight.
Yeah, it's a fire card.
That's gonna be a fun fight to watch right there. We need to see that.
Yep.
I have a real disdain for boxing community for the way they beg. Yeah, for Errol to fight and then shitting on him when he lost. I just don't understand it. We ain't gotta feel bad for him after the initial ass whooping, but dang, we ain't gotta toss him away and trash him. Like, I can't do that. I'm like, that's not real. You don't really like boxing when you do that. That guy out of all the fighters, I just don't see it.
But just not only that, they then took it to Al Heyman and began to smear his name, bro.
I never understood that either. I had a post that I was gonna pull up and talk about with y'all, but I had deleted it because it's just who it came from. Like, I don't really like seeing Rick Glazer talk on him, but he was a guy that was he's one of them. Like, I would love to know what his issue is. Like, I at this point, I need to know. I've never seen somebody have a concentrated effort to down talk everything that a guy does. Damn near everything he do. Whether I just don't know. I don't like him. I don't like him. But he was the one saying that he wasn't sick and it's the money and he going broke or something to that effect. Something about his money. And I'm just like, dude, I mean, you at this point, you just got to be shooting in the dark because I've been hearing this shit for entirely too long. And like I said, man, please, I aspire to be that kind of broke, whatever that is. Please, like, it don't make sense to me. I'll never understand it, bro.
A guy like that, you just got to just hit the mute button on him.
Yeah.
Hide his notifications and all that, and make sure he don't come across your damn timeline.
Right. Mermaid man,
bullshit. Do not recommend his post to me, please.
For real, bro. It's like all negativity. I'll be like, damn, bro, it's never that deep. I just don't understand it. It's between him and another guy that be on YouTube with it. Y'all all know who he is, but I ain't saying his name. Hell with him, bro. I'm like, damn, everything I see is negative. Like everything. Somebody finances. Like, how could you celebrate somebody having any type of like financial issue? Like, what's the celebration on that? Like, the dude was talking about Tank and his money and opened the video laughing. Like, I watched for a couple seconds. I ain't gonna lie, just curiosity, just to see what people be on. And it's sad to see. Like, I don't even understand how a laugh could come from that. Even the thought that somebody could have money problem. Like, why would that be fun, something to celebrate? That's not an "I told you so" moment. That's weak. Like, that's not even boxing at that point. That's all.
I mean, if you cover that, but you don't cover what Schofield did to that woman, or you'll cover that, but you ain't covering Tank and keep on potentially negotiating and shit. Like, I just
right.
What we doing this shit for, bro?
Right. That's why I said, man, that shit get messy, man. Like man.
Rick Glazer blocked me because I just started trolling him.
Hey, let me jump in right quick, man. Salute Jusdu and a pound.
To you, bro. What's up?
Yeah, man, it's too rich, man. I just want to say this: when Turkey put on the fight, all we hear about is he lost this much money. He losing money. And I know any content creator know they got $900 million in that PIF fund, but the first thing we say he losing money. And then when they said about the PBC, it's like, oh, why they saying that? And my thing is, how do you reason? Let me break it down like this. We had Top Rank put on 35 shows. We had DAZN put on 31 shows. We had Golden Boy put on 21 shows. And we had the PBC put on 5 shows. And they plan to put on 12. How do we reason why that didn't happen? I don't think it's about criticizing something clearly obvious. I mean, something is going on. We ain't got to know. We ain't saying broke, but we can say, okay, you ain't got the plug no more. That's
what's going on is that they're rebuilding. Like, people act like there's no, it's called business. No, hold on. It's called business cycles. When you have a business, things works in cycles. Right now, they're rebuilding. They had to lead the whole landscape of sports all around has changed. Football, basketball, it don't matter. All sports all around have changed. And PBC is in a rebuilding phase right now. They're trying to figure some things out. They might have projected doing 12 cards, but they didn't do 12 cards.
Okay, but look, that's not a problem. But when you talk about Turkey losing money, he ain't good on it. He losing money.
The reason why the Turkey losing money conversation comes up is because we're trying to see and gauge how this is going to continue, how it's going to look in the future, what angles, what's the agenda. That's what we're trying to see. What's the agenda? Anybody that's willing to continuously lose money is very dangerous, and people are overlooking that. I don't know why y'all don't understand that. Why are you willing? Why are you willing to be doing this? Is the question.
Check this out. You hear what you're saying. You listen what you're saying. I understand your comments. And
we talking about millions and millions, tens of millions of dollars.
Now, I want you to go back and look at the top ranked lawsuit against Al Heyman in 2015. They said the same thing you're saying. That he was throwing away money, and legitimate promotion company like Top Rank was losing money because he's got a monopoly on the game, and he's losing money on purpose to put them out of business. That's the
okay.
game.
I'm glad you brought that up. Let me ask you a question. I'm glad you brought that up. Rich, let me ask you a question. Then how come when Al was doing it, he was getting sued, but when Turkey is doing it, he's saving boxing?
I like that.
PBC did save boxing. They were the hottest thing out. They did save boxing at that time.
That wasn't the sentiment, though. That wasn't the sentiment, though.
No, but they did get sued, didn't they?
So all I'm saying is this. All I'm saying in the argument. I was about to
say why everybody got all quiet.
But
he ain't have an answer for her question.
Oh, she asked me something. I ain't know she asked me that.
Yeah, of course you did.
But anyway, let me just say it like this. You got.
How about you let her answer the question again? You actually answer it.
Yeah, Rich. Let me ask you. Let me ask you again, Rich.
I thought I just answered the question though, because
y'all go ahead.
I know.
Let me ask you again, Rich.
Let
me ask you again.
Right quick. Let me just finish this.
Go ahead.
All I'm saying, I'm not on one side or the other. What I'm saying is, it seems like in America, everybody's saying we got to build the stars. Okay, that's fine. People trying to do business. If you understand business, you make a cheap product and you sell it for high. Okay, Turkey got the money. He don't need the money, so he wants to see who's the best. So you got two different things going on. He got the money to throw away. He got the money to take over the block. So he can just buy out everybody or drop the price cheaper, take the fighters, let's crash them out, see who the best. Okay, and America want to build a cheap product, sell it as a good product, and everybody cheer because they're making money. Where they do that at? That don't mean they the best because you present them in a way in which they are profitable. That don't make them the best, though. Then they fight a Eurobomb, and we trying to figure out why they look like that.
So you can be the best and not be profitable?
Well, they're not putting on the best fight. Is Turkey paying for Lamont Roach versus Tank? Do you think
can you be the best and not be profitable?
Turkey putting on that fight with Lamont Roach?
Why not?
And that'll answer your question.
Everybody worried about Turkey losing money except for Turkey.
Turkey worried about it.
If he ain't worried about it, he wouldn't even have one show in America.
Right, Turkey's worried about it because they put it.
If he ain't worried about it, if he ain't worried about it,
if he was worried
about it, if he ain't worried about it, but Turbiev and Bivol be fighting in fucking Russia, where they from?
If he was worried about it, wouldn't it make sense for him? Wouldn't you think he would stop doing it?
They're already pulling the name.
And that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
Saudi Arabia,
he said he ain't stopping them.
Okay. Just go read up on the PIF fund, and they let you know they pulling out all their investments in other countries, and they only focusing in Saudi Arabia now.
I did hear that.
Go read up on it, then get back to me.
Hear that.
Turkey did that with
and they're working on 30% less budget, and they got their budget cut. They're working on 30% less budget.
Turkey himself said that.
What was the best fight? What was the best fight in the super middleweight division this year?
You asked, what you say? What was the best fight?
What was the best fight in the super middleweight division this year?
Right, though.
This year?
Yeah, in 2024, what was the best fight in the super middleweight division?
I guess what was it? Canelo and was it Canelo and Munguia?
Who put that fight on?
The PBC, but that's all they did though.
All right, what's the so in 2025, what's the best fight in the light heavyweight division that's scheduled?
Bro, right? Oh, slow down. Why you skipping past 2024 so fast? You only picked one fight in 2024, bro.
What's the best fight?
What about the rest of the fight?
Okay, what's been the best fight in the lightweight division this year?
I don't know. What would you say?
Tank versus Frank. You got one better?
I mean, I could tell y'all one, but I'll just say, I mean,
oh no, I think
let me stop messing with y'all.
I don't know.
I had one.
What about the super?
I think more drama happened in the Devin versus whatchamacallit fight.
Devin versus who?
Devin versus Ryan Garcia.
That was 140 pounds. I said the lightweight division.
He's showing the
Oh yeah, for sure. I guess we would say yes.
What about the
but super, you only you specifically picking only the fight that they did.
What about 154 pounds? What was the best fight at 154 pounds this year?
No, don't go to all. What about the heavyweight division? Ain't that the main division? Ain't that the biggest division? What about that? Let's go to the heavyweight division.
No, you were saying
best fight in the heavyweight division was Usyk versus Fury.
That's what I was about to say.
Who put that on?
Reign of peace, Queen. Shadow Band, what up? I'll pay Limo.
What was the best fight card this year?
One of the Riyadh season cards. It was two of them, wasn't it?
I say the Crawford card was the best card.
The Crawford one.
Say it again. You say
I said the Crawford card was the best card.
Mm-hmm.
What promoter had the most fighters on that card?
You talking about a man who calling another man?
Who put it on?
His Excellency. That's who you talking to right now. That's my guy frequent, but he be calling people His Excellency.
People better be.
Bro, y'all get caught up in all of that. We already came to the conclusion that he ain't a prince, right? So why is he being called His Excellency?
Mm-hmm. I have yet to get the answer to that, but I ain't calling him that.
Why not though?
Yeah,
he ain't. Nigga, this is
this is a serious question. Why do you? It sounds like you feel a certain type of way to call him His Excellency.
Yeah, because I mean,
because you associate that with a prince or something like that.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, if you ain't no, I mean, who you not my excellency? Like,
right, exactly. I don't call a president.
Nah, bro, your name.
I don't call a foreigner your excellency.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, see, people see it. Y'all see it like that. You know what I'm saying? Because y'all don't understand.
We American.
Understand why people.
We American.
I mean,
we got rights over here and shit, bro. We don't.
I call him His Excellency just to piss y'all off.
No,
you know what I'm saying? But that's a custom in Saudi Arabia for a person in the royal army, bro. That's all. It don't got nothing to do with ruling nobody.
I'm not interested in researching.
Bowing down, but y'all, I know y'all
researching their rules and why they call people Your Excellency and shit. Nigga, he Turkey. Nigga, fuck his rules. Fuck all that. Where he come from and how they address people over there. Nigga, he Turkey. That's his name. This is America, bro. Give a fuck.
Yeah, I know, but a lot of people tend to call him other things too. Like they make fun, disrespect that man, and say all types of crazy stuff. So I do the opposite. Y'all don't have no problem with people disrespecting them crazy, calling them crazy stuff. But y'all got a problem with me calling him His Excellency, though. Respect it, bro. But it's all good. I just do it to piss y'all off. Y'all know me.
Funny as hell. Shout out to my brother Judah Ben in the cash.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well. I already been getting these back, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
That's my call.
Well, you know, it don't piss me off, baby boy. It's funny as hell.
It don't got nothing to do with nobody bowing down or nobody being a peasant and the king and none of that stuff, yo.
Hey, my dear old brother, was forgiven.
That's what these fighters and these promoters doing though. They kissing the ring like a motherfucker.
But y'all gotta understand too, man. Hey, check this out. These boxers today, man, America's like the hood. They got a chance to be global superstars. And I think people forget boxing history. And I'm gonna remind you, y'all ever heard of the Thriller in Manila? You feel me? What's the other one? The Rumble in the Jungle. These were not on American soil. And they made boxers global superstars. This is what the NFL trying to do, become global. Be trying to become bigger than soccer. You see what I mean? So these fighters today are trying to be global.
NFL ain't going nowhere. They have a game or two a year across the goddamn world. Ain't gonna be no German NFL team, bro.
Have they increased the games? Have they increased the games and increased the visibility? Ain't everybody trying to do that with a YouTube channel to create visibility to get into other markets? That's the way business works, man.
Subscribers, y'all, and 1 million likes, y'all. I ain't gonna be satisfied till I get since
for sure.
So you think you can just jump being a local star and become a global star?
If you got the platform to do it, we all can do it.
No, that's not how that works, bro.
To do it, we all can do it.
Listen, I think at the end, y'all can hear me?
Yeah, shout out to Ray Davis.
Yeah. So everybody, listen. I just wanted to tap in real quick and just say that I agree with everybody on the panel. They all have strong points. But as far as the NFL is actually looking to extend to Great Britain and Mexico. So they're not just staying stagnant into the United States. There's also NBA teams looking to go across seas. So we can't just look at that. And they have leagues, built semi-pro leagues that go overseas. So it's not like they're just trying to stay here. As far as Turki Alalshikh still in business or whatever the case may be, I mean, that's up for whoever's opinion. I'm not going to jump on that bandwagon. I'm not sitting there taking one or the other. I think what he's doing for boxing is great for boxing. That's my opinion. I think what Al Heyman has done has been great for boxing, and I think Al even has people that work with Turki Alalshikh and putting his boxers on his cards to also make business. So it ain't just Oscar and Bob sweating the money to go over there. There's other people from PBC going there. Matter of fact, two of their champions went over there and fought on his platform. And one of them lost their title, if I'm not mistaken, on one of his fights. So it's multiple reasons to say that this is good for boxing. Boxing is global, it's international, it's always been. It's not been solitude to the United States. And the problem is, if you look at what happened with Jared Anderson, that's a product of us not fighting outside of our country. That's a problem with us not fighting the top competition in the world. Heavyweight boxing, especially heavyweight boxing, is global. That's more global than any other part of boxing. And I guarantee you that if Jared Anderson was not just fighting people at top rank and being fed a bunch of stool pigeons, he would have been out there winning fights. He would have won that fight probably against McCauley. But he went out there looking amateurish. And then we're sitting here and we're kicking this guy's back in. He didn't put them in a fight. Oh, I'm going to put him in this fight so he can lose to Martin Short, McCauley. You know what I mean? He didn't put him in there for that. He put him out there because he said, I'll take whoever you got. And that was Anderson's words. I'll take whoever you got for me. Happened to be McCauley. Now everybody know who McCauley is. He became the star.
Jared Anderson lost because he's the guy that was real big, but he wasn't good enough to make the football team or the basketball team. Our big guys in America got other shit that they do, bro. Like he's just our American heavyweight boxing. We don't our young, big, strong kids, they don't box no more, dog. They play football and basketball, bro.
Okay. So and our wide receivers are the fast kids. And they don't box either.
He's not good, bro. He's not he just wasn't good enough.
Okay. Okay.
Ray, I always told you Jerry Anderson was food, right?
We called him dry turkey job.
Okay. All right. So who else? So who else can we mention besides Nick Ball? And because I heard that conversation earlier with the Nick Ball comment and Raymond Ford. Who else can we say went over there and lost the fight? Okay. But that was really Oscar's card. That wasn't. I mean, I know he put it on, but that was really like Oscar's little thing. And Tevin Farmer and Zepeda was a good fight. That punch output went to Zepeda. I'm sorry. I mean, it was a great fight. It was great positioning and strike and countering on Tevin Farmer's part. But Tevin Farmer's never threw that many punches in his life, and he was outthrown. Zepeda was knocked down. Yes, he was, but he out threw, out punched, and stayed aggressive in that fight. So if you're going to take the fight away from that, then we got to look at the way they score fights, and we got to ask ourselves, was that not what they score fights on?
Zepeda won that
He
fight.
was doing a lot of shoe shining too, though.
Hey, I got a question for the panel when everybody done.
Effective, man.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well. I already been getting these bet, but now it's time for you to get your Jusdu.
Hey, can you hear me,
bro? Yeah, I can hear you.
Kevin won that fight, man.
I just got a quick question for the panel because I've been listening for a minute and I've been in the shadows listening to different channels in general, just giving their perspective of how they feel about Riyadh season and all these other promoters, kissing turkey ring, however you want to put it and stuff. I guess my question would be, how do y'all solve this issue and problem? Let's say they do all of this, they take it overseas, they don't pan out and stuff like that, right? What's plan B? Like what's going to be, how can they bring boxing back and make it better than it's ever been? And if the case of y'all saying that y'all don't want it to go overseas, what is the solution y'all got in mind to make boxing like a bigger sport in America then? Like what's the answer?
Stop. So fighters got to stop being prima donnas and demanding paydays they don't deserve. And promoters.
Do you think that's gonna happen?
It will if they quit having these goddamn.
I disagree with that. I disagree with that, KO. No disrespect to you, bro. I think it's more the fans that got to start paying for the fights. If they're going to keep putting on pay-per-views, the fans have to buy the fights. They have to go out to these fights. They have to support boxing here in the United States. It's not on the boxers. It's not on the boxers demanding more money. Because like Fat Joe said, yesterday's price ain't today's price. And if we know that's the case, they ain't going to sit here. But they listen.
They got to give you some more comment, right?
I hear you, dog.
And they got to fight each other. But at the end of the day, if you a fighter, and again, bro, I hate to be the dead horse, but it's just logic and common sense. If you a fighter and you can't even do $1 million live gate, why the fuck you asking to be paid $4 million?
Hey, if you fighting in a championship fight, then you got to ask for whatever you get. And let me ask you a question, and you tell me if I'm right or wrong. If you go to work and you only worth $10,000, just throwing a figure out, right? And then you go in there and ask for $20,000, and they give it to you. Are you going to be mad that they're overpaying you? Absolutely not. You're going to be grateful. You're going to be like, yo, these people are stupid. They're going to pay me more money. Exactly. So why are we?
Of course not. But the question was asked: how do we get the sport to grow? How do we bring it back
by supporting? By supporting boxing. That's how.
Hold on, bro. That's what A1 asked. So when asked that question, the first thing you have to do is make yourself a legitimate business that can turn a profit. The highest cost in any business, whether it's boxing, whether it's what I do for a living or what anybody does for a living, whether you're a ground level employee or you're in management, the biggest cost in any business is your employees. That's what costs you the most, is having to pay a salary to your employees. So the first thing boxing needs to do is they need to regulate and make sure they get the price right. And the price is all wrong. We got, and this is no disrespect to him, because I know a lot of people up here rock with him. We got a guy like Shakur Stevenson turning down 5-fight deals worth $3 million a fight, telling you that that's football when he has barely cracked $1 million at the live gate. So he turned down a deal where each fight would pay him 3 times more than what he can generate at the gate. And the promoter is the problem.
So who you blame that on? You blaming that on Turkey?
I'm blaming that on fighters having an inflated sense of what they're worth. They don't want, see, what happens is they don't want to be paid what they really are worth. They don't want you to look at their ticket sales. They don't want you to look at what they actually bring to the table and pay them off of that, because they're going to get paid way less money. They want you to overpay him, bro. They want you to overpay them. And it's not just Shakur. It's a lot of fighters that are like that. And so what happens when they come to the table against somebody that actually can generate revenue, they're asking to be paid a certain amount, and that fighter is looking at them like, wait a minute, nigga, I can sell, you can't. I actually get people to buy my pay-per-views. You ain't never been on pay-per-view. Why the fuck should I pay you this? And now the fight falls apart because of fucking egos. Like, I don't want anyone to forget. We almost didn't get Errol Spence, Terrence Crawford, because Terrence Crawford won a 50-50 in a goddamn coin flip to see who walked out last. If
Right.
Earl didn't give him that, we don't get that fight. I just want everybody to remember that, bro.
Okay, but you
But
also did say
had to
that
do with
it's
Turki
based on.
Alalshikh?
But you just said it's based on us going to see the fights and coming out to see the fights. Exactly what I was stating. It's the fan base. The fans have to stop streaming the fights and they have to pay for them. And if they're going to keep making pay-per-views $90, that's going to hurt in itself. I'm not saying $25 is significant, but every fight doesn't have to be on pay-per-view. And I get it. The promotional companies do that because they have to make their money back somehow. So I totally get that part. But at the same time,
a product, Ray, that I don't want, that I didn't ask for.
okay.
You're not giving me
they're just, but all right, your boy is fighting the product nobody wants right now. Am I right?
Fans to just blindly fucking support a fight. No, give them what they want. Make that shit worth buying. And the way to get that shit worth buying is to be able to pay people what they really worth, so the promoter feels good about it, feel like they can make money. The fighter feels good about it because it's a fair wage for what they're doing. And then the fans feel good about it. They'll pay for the shit because it's actually a fight that they were asking for. But it starts with the fighter, because you can't demand that money, but then don't give a fuck about the fans. If you're gonna demand that type of money, you gotta get people's attention. You gotta put on great performances. You gotta show that you're somebody people should pay attention to. And if you're not able to do that, you need to accept a fair wage for your work.
Who doesn't care about the fans? And me just generally asking. None of these promoters.
It's a lot of fighters that say that.
Oh, well, we know that. Oh, yeah, fighters. Yeah, it's a lot of fighters because the fighters have been turning their backs on them. But I don't really care about that. That's on them. I'm just here for the sport. Like at the end of the day, and I think all of us mostly are. So. Well, what you laughing at, Justin? But
every time
I know you are, man. I know you are, man. But yeah, man. No,
you realize these fights go on pay-per-view because they're trying to make money back from paying fighters.
Yeah, but that's a debt. That seems like that's dying.
They're saying
like you realize like these big ass purses that motherfuckers are getting paid. That's the reason you're getting fights on pay-per-view.
So can I ask you a question?
They're trying to make money because they know they can't make the money back at the gate. Like, damn, I got to pay you $4 million.
They can make it.
So I got to pay you $4 million. I know you can't sell at the live gate, so I'm already in the whole $3 million because I'm paying you $4 million. You're gonna bring me back $1 million with your live gate, so I'm still in the whole $3 million. I gotta try to get some of this shit. So I know it's a subpar fight, but nigga, I'm putting it on pay-per-view anyway. So I need to try to get some of this money back.
But do we not?
With that same subpar fight, the fighter takes what they're really worth. Like, damn, I can't bring nothing but $1 million gate. At least pay me $500,000. Okay. Now this is not on pay-per-view because the promoter feels good. I already made my money. Now you're getting that same fight that you complaining about pay-per-view. Maybe you don't complain as much if you're getting it for free.
Well, I mean, the Jake Paul card was just a streaming that did more than what any boxing match in the United States did this whole year. So at the end of the day, if we're going to really look at what's going on pay-per-view and not pay-per-view, you're going to be understanding that right there generated a high amount. It doesn't have to be a pay-per-view because everything's going to streaming. If they put out a boxing app and they put on
you're going to Jake
Paul. I don't care if it's Jake Paul or anyone. The point is, okay.
You're talking about a huge. Hold on. You're comparing a huge YouTube star versus a guy who has 3 of the top 5 highest grossing fights of all time in Mike Tyson. That is an anomaly, my nigga.
Okay.
That is something that we shouldn't even.
What was Jake Paul's pay-per-view numbers? What was Jake Paul's? Hold on, freak. What was Jake Paul's pay-per-view numbers last time? He didn't do well. He even seen that people were still at his streams. He even seen that the people was not really paying for it. So what did he do? He found a network that was going to stream his fight, and they did the numbers. It's the same thing with Tank Davis. Tank Davis is a big star as well.
The most polarizing sports figures in the history of all of sports, not just boxing.
Okay.
And he was stupid enough to believe that Mike Tyson was going to turn back the clock 40 years. And now Netflix is fucking getting sued.
Hey, check this out. Hey, let me jump in real quick. Look, there's a problem with American boxing. All right, we talk all about the money. It's always about the money. But let me say this: you got two faces of boxing. They do bring money in. There's no doubt about it. They bring money in. But when you got the two faces of boxing, one fought a fight where he was favored minus 2,000, and Tank Flame Roach where he minus 1,700. This the problem with boxing. Look at these matchups when they represent the sport at the highest level, and they're not fighting competitive fights. It's almost like the bookies can't make no money off of it because we already know who's gonna win. That's the problem with America boxing. Fuck the money. Put on the good. Whatever you did for Crawford, or whoever made the Crawford Spence fight, that was one of the top 5 PBC fights, grossing fights, not named Canelo or Tank. So it's a proven method. Put on some damn fights. Put on some real fights. People will watch.
That's fact.
And then
That's all. That's all. That's all
Netflix
facts,
get the
bro.
network interested in it too.
You spitting that? That's facts. Hey, did Tank try to fight Loma?
Absolutely. And
Loma, yes.
Did Tank reach out to Shakur Stevenson? Or
he reached out.
Did he try to make a fight with Ryan?
No, he reached out. He ain't tried to make no fight.
He should have offered around.
All right, and he's currently negotiating with Keyshawn.
That's what y'all say.
We don't know about that part.
No, that's what Keyshawn Davis said. That's what Keyshawn Davis said.
Keyshawn said he hopped in the DMs, and that was it.
Two champions at 135, a champion at 140, and a dude that's about to be a champion at 135. He beat Barenchik. He had to fall back on Lamont Roach because those fights couldn't get made, but it's his fault. That's the problem.
Well, we can't do the duck. Somebody ducked them. The only one ducked them was Loma.
Oh, context
That's the only
don't
one
matter.
ducked them. That's the only one ducked them.
All right, context don't matter. I got you. How about instead of blaming Tank and Lamont Roach, how about we tell Lomachenko to not be a bitch?
I mean, I agree with that. I agree.
You can tell that.
Ain't get the
But
money
how about how about you fight people that were either ranked high in your sanction, or you can go out and fight somebody else like that was on your promotional company, such as what's his name, who didn't even receive an offer. He just got talked to, and that was it. De Los Santos. There was plenty of fights there. The only fights that we weren't going to get were the ones that were all occupied. And being that all these fights. Hold on.
Of all time. Okay, bro.
Something hurt.
And he was hurt. Okay. All right, bro.
Who was hurt? De Los Santos?
I think
his team came out and said that they was ready, and they ain't hear
after
nothing
Tank Davis
Exactly.
After Tank Davis announced his fight. After he announced his fight.
So after he announced his fight,
Frequent, if he would have fought De Los Santos and mopped him up, y'all would have said he's cherry picking, bro. No matter who he fight and beat, he gonna be cherry picking or ducking, dog, and that's just the real. And then when he does fight and beat the people that you guys say he should fight and beat, they be overhyped or whatever.
Tommy Hill, the only person saying he cherry picking or ducked right now is you on this panel. Nobody said that on this panel, bro. Y'all be making up narratives.
You have never said
Nobody
that.
said that about him.
You have never said that. You have never put
I have never said that Tank cherry picked or duck.
PJs was good, bro. Yeah, because that shit is so much deeper than that. That's why I like hearing it from the people that's involved, because you don't hear that language. And oftentimes, if guys really ain't trying to make fights, there's nothing stopping these dudes from speaking on that. They ain't got to say the word duck, but if dudes really don't want to fight, I expect guys to speak on it. You ain't got to tell me nobody business. I don't care about y'all money and what y'all getting paid. I just want to know when these opportunities present themselves, who really want to fight and who don't. So we ain't got to speculate and, go back and forth. Duck this, duck that. Because I can tell you now, everybody that I think we talked about since we've been up here, I can tell you somebody that they duck based on the public. Like, I hate that shit, man. It's just so much deeper than that. But at the same time, I mean, it's obvious sometimes when guys don't want to fight, but I think it's just a lot of speculation when it comes to some of these fights we be talking about. But time will tell, man. That's what I always say. And it's always going to be proven over time who really want to fight and who did.
Hey,
I don't know how we like we criticize Tank versus Roach, but Keyshawn versus Lamont is good. Like you criticize Tank versus Roach, but Schofield versus fucking Shakur is good and shit. Like I just be confused and shit. Like with
I like them all for different reasons. And again, you know, I'm for boxing. I don't get it either, bro. I don't get it how you shitting on any of the fights. Like I said,
like they both like Shakur and Schofield to me, considering there's a pay to duct him, considering what Shakur is dealing with his hand injury and what Schofield brings to the table with the power and the athleticism, that's a good fight.
Right.
Well, I was about to ask you if you thought it was a good fight.
And
but how we say that's a good fight? Or you got people that's like, yeah, Devin Haney, Richardson Hitchens is a good fight.
Legacy.
Or, like I just don't understand, bro. Like just tell me you think the nigga's better than your favorite without telling me that.
I think
no, but I think people think it the most criticism from that Roach fight because Roach is at a lower weight. He's a champion at 130, and Tank is a champion at 135. But for some reason, y'all act like y'all don't understand that. Y'all don't see. Y'all don't understand why.
100% understand that. But see, bro, the conversation is way more granular than that, and you got to really understand boxing. Number one, Lamont Roach is just naturally bigger than Gervonta Tank Davis. He's taller than him, and he weighs more than him naturally walking around. So him fighting at 135 is actually going to help him because he's naturally bigger. So that 5 less pounds actually helps him. But when you put them side by side, he's bigger than that man, bro. He just
bro. You say
that helps. You can say that helps Lamont Roach out, but I think it would help him out more if Tank went down to 130 though.
But the question is, didn't Lamont Roach fight at 135 more than Tank did?
He's
not fighting there now. He's not campaigning there now. He's at 130. He's champion,
right? It's like this right here, but you want when Devin Haney moved up to 140, he was bigger than Regis, right? He's naturally a bigger human being than Regis Progro.
I mean, yeah, I heard that narrative.
So that 140
not bigger than JoJo Diaz.
140 helped him, and that was one of his best performances, correct?
Yeah, Devin Haney moved up to he moved up to 140.
If you're naturally bigger and you have to cut less weight, that's to your advantage, correct?
If you're naturally bigger and you have to cut more weight,
I said less weight.
Oh, less weight.
That's to your advantage, correct? If I walk around 155 and instead of having to cut 130, I only got to cut to 135. Doesn't that help me?
Yeah.
All right.
Well, check this out. So what I do, I go back through some of the channels, Knockout, and some of the other channels, you know, the other guys, the popular guys that make channels, and I go back and look at before the fights. And the problem is, I like Lamont Roach. I like his character. I like his daddy. And I did hear Eddie Hearn say that Lamont Roach was a harder fight than Frank Martin. So, okay, I'm listening. That's cool. Good fight then. Fuck it, good fight. The problem is that people going to have is, when we watch your videos, the content creators, I create content too, whatever the case may be, because I actually said, I made a short saying that I like the fight, believe it or not. I like the Roach fight. But when I watch other content creators, I go back before the fight. And it's a problem when we don't see content creators making content about Lamont Roach. It's a problem when he's not coming up in conversation of who Tank gonna fight next. When Hector Garcia, no videos made about Hector Garcia. Now all of a sudden we get named these opponents. Nobody could believe, nobody could pick out that's who Tank gonna fight. And then now we get a defense. Oh, it's a good fight now. Why y'all didn't know it was a good fight before Tank picked him? Because we can't predict the fight.
You listening to the wrong people because I predicted the Hector Luis Garcia fight and I told people he could fight Lamont Roach. You might want to go check the content.
All right, well, maybe you said, but you know what I mean. You listen to other content. You know what I mean. I'm just saying in general. We get these fights that nobody was checking for. So that's why people say it's not a good fight. Now, I went back
getting Lamont Roach after multiple failed attempts for bigger and better fights.
Okay, but that's fine. But
even if as a diehard Shakur fan,
people don't go backwards to 130 as opposed to fighting somebody in the race
to make the
right.
This makes no sense. Basically,
people don't expect them to go backwards to 130 as opposed to fighting somebody in the weight class that he already campaigned in. That's what it is.
I would because frequent. Listen, if the options y'all are giving me, right? So Loma ducked out. Shakur went to Metro. We don't have to call him a duck because I don't want to have that debate again. Rayo didn't want the fight because
Rayo moved up. He was at 140.
He didn't want the fight, so he tried to make a fight with a champion at 135. He tried to make a fight with a champion at 140. They both wanted to do other shit. He's currently fighting a champion from 130 and in negotiations to fight a dude that's about to be champion at 135 pounds.
I think just to avoid all of that, he could have just
mind you, coming off of fighting a guy in Frank Martin who is ranked top 3 in his sanctioning body.
Exactly. That's how I feel. I feel that's why I don't mind this Lamont Roach fight, because I feel like, you know, a fighter can't give you what you want every time. I feel like the Frank Martin fight was enough for me, and that's just me though. But you got all these other people around here that have a problem with that Roach fight, and I'm just telling you why I think why it is. You know, I understand why. You know, I'm just not one of them dudes that got a problem with it.
So check it, right?
Hey, hold on. Let me say this before you go.
WBA champion. You got Schofield, number 2 in the WBA. He a prospect. People would have shitted on Tank for fighting him. You got Edwin De Los Santos.
No, I don't think people would. No, I think that would have been the fight that people would have accepted. He was in the rank. He wasn't even in the ranking system for the WBC, bro. They just added him at 40 because Shakur decided to fight him, but he was ranked number 3 or 2 or 3 in WBA. That's the belt that Tank got. So that's the normal. That's the mandatory right there.
Schofield. He had better experience than Floyd Schofield. He had better wins than Floyd Schofield.
Wait, who you talking about? Who got better?
Frank the Ghost Martin.
Absolutely,
had better experience. Was a top contender. Had better wins on his resume. And
I love that fight, bro. I love that fight. That was enough for me. That was a fight that I think was a fight.
KO, y'all can hear me, right?
I gotta run. I appreciate you, Judge. What'd you say, A1?
No, you already know. I was gonna say before you dip out, I guess my only question would be: name me a fighter that's been giving everybody the fight they wanted when they wanted it. Name me one fighter that did every single fight that we didn't ask for when we asked for it.
One.
Okay.
Appreciate Melanie. I appreciate you.
Shout out to y'all. Y'all take it easy, man.
Shout out to KO, man. Shout out to my guy, A man, in the Cash App, man. He said, appreciate y'all, man. We appreciate and we ain't never got a box again. Well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just.
I got a question. When did fighters just fighting all of a sudden become taboo? I mean, let's think. Why do you think so many fighters, like back in the 80s, 70s, whatever, have 50 fights, 30 fights? They wasn't all fighting killers. Killers, there was never. So we can't keep saying, well, why is he fighting him? It doesn't matter. He's fighting. And eventually, like you don't always get the big fights that you want, and sometimes you do. Like Aaron Pryor never fought Sugar. That was a big thing. They never fought. So
but that was a rare situation though. Everybody else fought each other back then though.
Not really. Well, you also had one promoter, so that's a whole nother thing. But we can't keep saying, well, this, as long as they're fighting, they should eventually fight. Because I think Shakur and Tank is gonna fight. If everybody wins out the way they should win out, Tank and Shakur is probably fighting late next year.
I think that's probably gonna happen.
If everything plays out the way it should play out.
Right.
I hope he don't retire. I hope he don't really retire, man.
Tank ain't retire.
The only thing that made me feel like it's some validity to that even more. I don't know if y'all had caught it. Richardson Hitchens had did an interview, and that had came up in the interview that asked him about it, and he was like, "Look, he been talking to Tank too." And he said that's something that he been mentioning to him too. So he was like, when he heard him say it out again, he was like, "Oh, he must really be serious." So make it that what you will, but like it's one thing to tell it to the people, and we could make a bunch of different reasons as to why he's saying it, right? Frustration with the game, just ready to get it and get out. But when you speaking within the privacy of a conversation, you and somebody, and you also saying that, it makes me think that it might be something to it. But hopefully he don't do it prematurely, man. You got some great fights for that dude to make. Hopefully he don't get too, frustrated with the business or whatever the case may be, that he just walk away, because it's some dope fights that he made before he walked.
Hey, think about it like this, man. Tank came up under Floyd. Floyd gave him the green print. He got the money. Floyd was also concerned about his faculties and not getting damaged. And we never know. Tank might be experiencing a little something. He like, man, it might be time for me to get up out of here. Fight a couple more fights, put some more M's in the bank, and let it go. So
right? It wouldn't even necessarily be the fights that for me, right? Because he don't take a ton of punishment. He get hit, but the dude spar like a dog. You get me? We seen spar through all the years. So, and look, what you saying makes sense, bro. Because listen to what he spoke on when he talked about Loma. That's why I say, man, listen to the fighter. You could be a fan and like the push the duck narrative, but I thought what Tank said was very telling. He could have sat right up there in front of everybody and say, I tried to fight. All y'all complaining about this fight, I tried to fight Loma, but he ducked me. He ain't want to go that route. So you see how I was supposed to fight Loma, right? See, talking about, not being in the mood, and sound like he was cool with it, but he was very understanding of how they break their bodies down. Look what he was focusing on, the things he was talking about. So, and then listen to his coach. His coach saying, man, you don't know what these dudes go through. You never know what a fighter is feeling. So, I mean, I don't think the retirement shit is just I don't think he's trying to trick people, but could be more frustration and truth to it at the same time. But I think he's gonna be around for a little bit. I don't
you gotta think about fighters like Pernell Whitaker that's known as defensive wizards, and he was still punch drunk some kind of way. Some kind of way he was still punch drunk. And you got to think, like, the fight lasts, 36 minutes on a Saturday night? But the sparring, like you say, all that sparring, that's where a lot of damage is being done.
You heard what Roy Jones said. He said, yo, y'all be talking about sparring, man. That's where the damage is getting done.
Hell yeah.
That's why I be like, why people disregard it? You just got to put it in its proper context. It's not the end all be all to say because you spar a certain way, you going to fight that way under the lights. But that damage they sustain in sparring is real. That shit is real. So,
and just to pick,
that's why I always say, yo, I think that it was a mistake that Tank made when George Kambosos had those belts and he wanted to fight Tank, and Tank didn't fight him. I think that was a mistake in Tank's career. I think if Tank would have fought him, he would have been further than he is now. We would be having a whole different conversation about Tank. You know what I'm saying? Because I think all of the roads would have led through him. At the 135 division, Loma when Loma came back, he would have had to see Tank. You know what I'm saying? He wouldn't been able to duck him. Devin would have had to see him. He would have had to do that.
Is that frequent?
And he would have got the accolades thing knocked out the way, so wouldn't nobody be able to say nothing about Tank's career, you know what I mean? Because he would have.
That's the thing, though. Frequent. Nobody can say nothing about Tank's career as it is now. That dude don't care about no damn accolades. He about the money. That's all he care about.
It's not about. I'm not saying what he care about. I'm saying what people can say. People can say, "Yo, he never was unified. He never beat a champion. He never beat a current champion and had two belts."
But people also gonna say he's the best. He's the best fighter in that division that nobody went through and beat if he goes undefeated. So they're not gonna look at it like that. I don't think they're gonna question it. But
you're gonna have people out there that's gonna question that, bro. Devin was in the same weight class division that he was in at 135, and Devin was undisputed at the time that Tank was there. So while that's a big thing that somebody could question.
Big red flag. Big red
flag. When Tank, I'm talking about when Tank leave. If he do retire, and people look back on that, you always gonna have some. Believe me, somebody's gonna always say that. Yo, it was this guy Devin Haney. He was undisputed in the same weight class. Tank ain't never fight him. When somebody argued, yo, Tank was the best. Couldn't nobody beat him. Well, it was somebody.
Tank care about that conversation.
But I was gonna say that. Hell no, he ain't gonna care about it. And I was gonna say the last point, just to add on to do.
I'm not saying if he gonna care about it. We already know he don't care about it.
Let me finish his last point. I'm gonna get out the way and let y'all finish cooking. I think for him, these younger fighters nowadays, they say they may not pay attention, but I think also at the same time, bro, them fans at some point, bro, they start hearing everything and they start getting juiced into it. So at some point, you know, he could be tired of just hearing people talking about he ducking, he not fighting the best, or this, that, and the third. That should take a mental type of drain on you, bro. When you got like tens of thousands, if not millions of people constantly atting you on different outlets or your family, and all you doing is hearing it, even though you're saying, you know, stepped away from social media, but at the same time, you still hearing everything. That's like LeBron saying, I'm done with social media. Guess what? He's surrounded by people that either is controlling his social media or whatever the case may be. He gonna hear this shit. So eventually you're gonna get tired of it. You're gonna want to dare some narratives and conversations at some point. So for him, he might be saying, you know what? I'm giving y'all what the best I can get, and having the people fighting me, that I'm trying to fight the people y'all asked me to, but I don't want to out them, but behind the scenes, they low key kind of, you know what I'm saying? They dodging these contracts, but I'm not gonna out them because I want them to get their bag. Just like Kamel Moji, when he missed weight by 15 pounds, Tank could have definitely shitted on him, but what did he do? He was just like, nah, I'm just going. He kind of sidestepped it a little bit, didn't really give it the proper energy that, you know, most people that don't care about nobody else upcoming, they gonna go ahead and shit on them while they down.
Right.
So you just gotta look at the whole how certain people move, what they say, like you said, pay attention to what they actually say. But that's all I have, man. Y'all go ahead and finish cooking. I'm gonna listen.
Appreciate you, A1. Shout out
Salute,
to you.
A1.
Salute, y'all.
What's up? What up, man? What up, man?
What's up, guys?
What's going on?
I heard
What's
the
word,
attack
y'all,
on
on the panel?
the King Turkey. You know, why y'all dissing the God Emperor for?
Who, His Excellency?
Yes, His Excellency. Dragon Ball Turkey, y'all got something.
Dragon Ball Turkey is crazy.
Turkey Al Capone is what I call him. Turkey Al Capone. He getting
Hey,
gassed on
I don't
these
get
cats.
it. I hear what people say, but I don't get it.
bro.
Turkey's doing really good for boxing, and I don't know why people are always, trying to even like.
I just think it's early, right? I just think it's early. That's all.
Yeah, because I don't.
For right
we
now,
don't
we
know
can
his
say it's good.
plans.
Yeah,
I mean,
like he's done okay. He's done okay. Like I don't think he's some evil villain like how some people carry it, but I think I just think it's early. I keep saying that because I think time reveals all, and I'm a patient guy like that. I can sit back and watch, and I think after a while we'll really get a better read on what it is that he actually trying to do because you just know yet. He can say anything, right? But we just wait. I'm just waiting to see. So I don't think he's a bad guy, but I think it's a slap in the face to everybody else that's been in the game when you try to say he's some savior as if they ain't been putting in work for years on end and he just got here. I hate that. I don't like that kind of talk. Like just call this shit down the middle. He could be a potential, somewhat of a solution to a problem, but it's very early. We don't know.
Yeah, but you gotta look at it.
I agree with that, Jeff.
He's been doing things that we've been wanting to see for a long time. Like, I get it that promoters have been putting on big fights, but it's been rare. Like we've been having more talks about how people can't cross the street, A side, B side, this and that. There's been so much boxing politics for a long time, and it's been hurting boxing for a long time as well. And for somebody to come in there and just like sort of try to open the floodgates on that, I think it's been really a big thing. And I never liked the concept of like, certain fighters being worth certain things. I feel like, hey, if this guy can pay fighters more, why would we want them to get paid less? Historically speaking, we've been seeing promoters get paid way too much and fighters losing out on money. So if somebody comes in and tries to look out for a fighter, more power to him,
Cool. So
yeah, that's why I'm able to say, And I get people want to see the fights in the US, but boxing is a world sport. I say it all the time. It's world. You get a title, it's the world championships. It's not the U.S. championships. So at the end of the day, like if it's Saudi, it's wherever, as long as fighters can make money from it.
Yeah, but frequent, you have to deal with egos of these fighters. You think they're gonna? Yeah, they're making money, but their egos are very huge.
You mean boxing hacker? You said frequent.
I mean, my bad. Boxing hacker. Yeah, my bad. Frequent. But yeah, so you can't. They have egos. So yes, they're making some money with Turkey, and they're making a quote unquote bag with Turkey. But their egos are also saying, "Yo, where's my fandom?" And that's
Where's
what
my fandom?
Where's my fan? Yes, where's my fandom?
They get more exposure on the world stage.
But then, if you're from the U.S., you don't care. You're not necessarily going to care about the world stage.
That's not necessarily true.
Floyd Mayweather could go someplace right now. People be like, "Yo, who's that?"
Floyd Mayweather is like one of the true faces of boxing, right?
Yeah, but
he's not one of these coin.
cannot
We coin people the face of boxing
overseas.
today.
That's what I'm saying.
But Floyd became the true face of boxing is because he promoted himself worldwide. Like you can go to like places in Africa and be like, if people ask people who don't even watch boxing, ask them who Mike Tyson is or who Floyd Mayweather is. They can associate that name with boxing, because that's what makes.
Where were they fighting? Where were they fighting when all this happened?
Where was they? Floyd fought primarily in the U.S., but he did fight outside the U.S. too.
Right. I mean, yeah, right. Primarily in the U.S.
It wasn't just the U.S.
If you can't, if a boxer can't get fame in the U.S. where they live, and most, like I explained this earlier, most boxers are not like the soccer league or the golf league where they're educated, because you have to pretty much have some kind of education to be very good at soccer or whatever the case may be. Boxers are not like that. So they're going to want that fandom because the money is going to.
They can still get it. You can still look at.
I'll give you an example. Fight all over though.
A new way, right?
You can't bring up Ali because Ali was at a time when boxing was very popular. Boxing was probably the second sport or the third sport in America. Right now, boxing is maybe somebody said 14. I thought it was like between 6 and 8 in America. So you can't keep referring to anomalies because Ali was an anomaly.
But look at this. Check it out for today. For today, right? Let's just use that idea. Let's just use that idea. You're saying boxers can't become popular if they're outside the U.S. Inoue is popular in Japan, but he's also popular in the U.S. However, he fought even though he did fight some in the U.S.,
he's popular with us in the U.S. Us casual fans make a sport. He's popular.
I didn't say not, but Inoue is popular in both Japan and the U.S., but he fought primarily in Japan. So you can be outside of America and still become popular. It is possible.
But he's known in America by boxing fans, people like us who talk boxing every day or every other day. But if I went outside right now, like, you know who Inoue is? If that person's not a boxing fan, I'm like, no, I don't know who he is.
Right. But for most fighters, even the fighters in the U.S. is the same way.
Right,
like
but
if you ask a common person who doesn't really watch boxing who Boots is, they might not know who Boots is. It doesn't mean that he's not a popular boxer. He's within the sport.
The sport of boxing itself is not really that popular.
If you're talking about people that transcend,
you're right about that, Freaky.
If you're talking about people that transcend the sport, then you might say like, okay, for instance, Tank Davis is popular in the U.S., right? But we only know how popular it is outside the U.S. You know what I'm saying? We only know how popular it is within our bubble of the sport. So it's really hard to gauge that. There are fighters who are popular, but they might not just be popular in certain regions.
I don't know, man. I was in a live stream where it was like over 1,000 people were in the chat, and they didn't know. Nobody knew who Claressa Shields was, bro. They ain't even know who she was. She 2 times
the movie.
Well, they ain't understand nothing. All they knew was the chick that Papoose messing with.
Man, what the hell live stream was you in?
Bro.
What the battle rap John Piper Boy or whatever, he was doing a joint about Claressa Shields and Papoose and RemyMa or whatever. They going through something, and nobody in the whole chat knew who Claressa Shields was.
Exactly.
Including him. He didn't even know. And so he's looking at her page and he's like, oh wow, she got 1 million followers. She's rich. And then he went to RemyMa and she got 10 million. He's like, yeah, but he downgraded though, because he went to her. And I'm like, that's Claressa Shields. She like the best female boxer. You know
that ain't no damn downgrade. That's what the hell he talking. I know he ain't validated.
But it's not to say she's not a popular fighter, but it's just like it's within the bubble of people. That's it.
Remy better keep that shit on wax when it comes to Claressa. Even though that shit ain't true, she better keep that on wax. She gonna mess around and get waxed, fucking around with Claressa.
Claressa need to keep it off wax too, though.
But look,
Ray might come with something different though.
This was Claressa and them going at it.
Remy a ex-felon, bro. She ain't
Versus RemyMa, February 2nd. Come get your ass.
Remy mess around and clap somebody again.
Remy a crash out. Told her,
Nah,
come
she
get
ain't
your
gonna
ass.
crash out. Y'all gotta remember, Remy did time in jail. She is not trying to go back. She ain't crashing shit out. She gonna talk
Man,
tough,
trying
and
to
then
get killed by no
she
world
gonna
class
drop a
fighter.
record or an album. That's what she gonna do. A record or an album is coming at this point.
Oh no, she might have to. Claressa put those hands on her though.
That's what I'm saying, dude. Like she better keep that shit on wax, because that shit goes somewhere else. Clarissa gonna put the mitts on her, and she gonna be sitting there looking sick. But hey, dude, I'm gonna fall back in the chat, bro. I appreciate you letting me come on and click on the panel, bro.
And you already know, bro. Always, man.
Yes,
They
it's
like, yeah,
crazy,
they like,
man.
yeah, Pat messing with some little young
Nah, I
boxer
get like that,
boxer
man. Y'all
chicks.
gotta
I'm like,
It
understand.
boxer
reminds me
chicks.
of that Alicia Keys situation, you
It's
know.
not intentional when we like over talk. Like, you know, people just be going, and I know how this shit go. Microphones, people don't be hearing people. It's not intentional, yo. So my apologies, y'all. But this is the fam, and it's all love. You see, nobody got cursed out up here. People was just trying to get their points off. So salute to everybody coming up to bring up the property value again. No contract was sent. It's a fanatic narrative. Yeah, man. They don't. People ain't just spending money on contracts and sending them out, hoping people sign them. They skipping steps. That is some fan stuff, and that's why I say when you educate yourself a little bit better on the business or the process of how this shit go, then yeah, you know what I mean. You understand. Nobody just no contract over, and even you will start to realize now when you how many fighters you'll catch saying that. Well, tell them to send a contract. No, don't go like that. So.
Hey,
No.
hey, just
I
do
just
let
want
me.
people to come to the table,
Hey,
man.
hey, let me add
Understand
this.
for a minute. Let people negotiate.
Right.
You
Hey,
know?
well, look, check this out. A lot of people don't understand, man. When a fight is made, okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I always said my prediction was that Tank would never fight Shakur, Devin, or T.O. And let me tell you why. Because from my opinion, it's a bad style matchup. You got a boxer against a puncher for the most part. We know Tank can box, but we would just say who's the better pure boxer. You'll probably put Shakur, at least Shakur and Devin, you would say are boxers. And we notice these fights don't get made. So to bring my point home is to say this. When a fight is being made, the matchmakers make the fight. Right?
You think T.O. box better than Tank?
Lou the Cuba is the matchmaker for Tom Brown. So, because you know, Al Heyman don't put on fights. Tom Brown put the fights on. So, Lou the Cuba is the matchmaker. He's going to present Tank with 3 or 4 names. Tank can pick from those names. If you don't see Shakur or Devin, this because they don't think it's a good matchup. Because American fans want to see a show. So they got to pick a fighter that's the right matchup. The Tank, okay, if you see them finna make a Keyshawn fight, because they think, well, at least Keyshawn will be standing right there. That's gonna give Tank a chance. Shakur not gonna be standing right there. That's not for them. That's not a good matchup.
I agree.
You see what I mean?
So I hope people understand what you're saying when you say that. Like it's not about the fighter being scared and
exactly.
It's a matchup, like you're saying. And one guy, obviously, they feel like he's not going to stand there. They feel like Keyshawn got more of a style that's geared to what Tank likes and what's going to give the fans a good show. And I understand that completely. But that's why I want to see the other fight even more. Because the more people tell me they don't want to see it, and the reason is why I want to see it. That's why was saying what he was saying in that clip. I'm not saying I agree with everything he's saying, but I get the sentiments. And again, you've heard it from a number of different guys. It's not about ducking, and this is coming right from guys that been in the sport, the dudes that work with Al Heyman and know how what it take to put a fight together, man. That matchmaking is there for a reason, bro. They want favorable matchups. They want matchups that's gonna make money. You know what I mean? And I think, like he's saying, style-wise, you could sell Keyshawn because how he fight. And Shakur, my guy. So, but I have no problem accepting that. That's real. That's just what it is, bro. That's the fight that to the people, that's more pleasing to the eye. But again, that's why me as a still want to see that other one, because I want to know what's the resistance. Because again, I'm gonna say this. Too many people trying to sell me that the reason it shouldn't happen is because it's just such a bad fight, or it's just so easy for the one guy that we don't even need to see it, or one guy is just not on the level that people think he on, so we don't need to see it. Nah, I want to see it. I want to see who right and who wrong. And you should want to see any fight. So I wonder why so much resistance get put up when it comes to that. I hear some of the most ignorant talking points, and it's not coming from the fighter or the fighter's team. It just be fans making the wrong arguments, man. You should want to see everybody mix it up. Everybody, especially if you're a top guy. That's the only way we're gonna know who really top if you fight the other top people in and around your weight class. Period.
Agree. I think I think Shakur and Devin definitely dangerous fights for Tank. You know, I've been saying Shakur. People can say how boring Shakur is. Shakur is boring. He does this. His style is like a complete problem for Tank style. Just stylistically looking at him too. Like that style is like almost like
I just call it a challenge, right? It's just it's a challenge.
I think it'd be a Tank style challenge for Shakur boxing.
Hell yeah.
Yes, hell yeah.
Yes. That's the
somebody who can box and move like that. That's
straight
a
up.
dangerous style for
straight
Tank.
up to me.
Somebody who fights straightforward is an easier style for Tank. But somebody who like boxes and moves like Shakur, that's a dangerous style.
But can Shakur really win?
You can tell. Tank said it himself. Tank said, I will have to approach this fight differently. His coach said that he won't let us do what we want to do. They both are saying the same thing.
It ain't significant, believe it or not.
I thought Shakur had a hell of a reach.
Reach advantage is not that.
It's like a half an inch or something.
Yeah, the reach. I don't agree with that. With Tank, as far as Tank and Shakur, I mean, I think Shakur is a better boxer. Probably, I would lean towards Shakur, but Tank can box too. So I don't think you can just say that that's a bad matchup for his style. Like Tank just got one style, you know, because Tank we saw Tank do a lot of different things.
It sound like when they be like it's gonna be a bad fight, and I be saying to him, how many bad fights have you watched?
You may not know what will happen.
So I don't know why that one would just be the bad fight. I think people mix in their personal feelings and their preference for how a fight is going to look, and that you know, or what their expectations of a fight is versus reality. That's what that is. People got it in their mind that he going to do this, he going to fight this way, and they feel like Keyshawn being the way he fight, he going to fight that way. That's just the better fight. I get it, but I want to see.
And what's crazy about fighting Shakur? Shakur's gonna do exactly what it takes to win. Like Devin made,
you know what,
made diverge himself and actually try to fight things.
What makes you think
Shakur will do exactly, no matter what your people say, no matter how boring people take it, he will do exactly what he needs to win that fight.
Suppose Tank comes in and said, "You know, I'm gonna fight off the back foot."
Then he's gonna move. He's gonna have a plan to move around.
That'll be something. That'll be.
I have to be the attacker. Remember that. I don't have to attack you because you're on the back foot. I just need to score punches and be out of there.
Yeah, but you still got to score points.
But you got to come. You got to go.
I just need to score and be out.
That'd be interesting. That can make things tricky, bro.
Yeah, that would make
sometimes
Tank decide to play the back foot. Hell yeah, that make things tricky. That's why you gotta want to see the fight. I don't care who you think gonna win. You gotta want to see the shit.
Yeah, and another thing, Shakur the shoe to win. Yes,
Shakur versus Tank though. What you think? How you think Tank will approach that fight? You think Tank will try to walk him down? Or you think Tank will just try to stand there in the middle with him?
He's gonna try to press him out.
That's what it is.
So he's gonna try to press him out, hoping that Shakur will create more openings.
Yeah, I think he'll be patient at first, and I think
he's not gonna start. He's not gonna start late. He's gonna try to start as early as possible.
But this is what Tim Bradley had to say about to Shakur, like some little advice. And this is a short little clip, but I kind of agree. I kind of agree with him. I see where he was going. Right?
Shakur, I think he's one of the best fighters in the game. Yes, at 135 pounds, Shakur Stevenson is definitely one of the best boxers in the game. It's him and Tank Davis. You got the young guns coming up. You got Abdullah Mason. You got Keyshawn Davis. You got Murataya there as well. So it's a lot of guys that are really good fighters, man. At 135 pounds, I just hope that they mix it up. But yeah, Shakur got skills, man. Yeah, don't get it twisted. You know, I just want for Shakur. I mean, he look at everything. So Shakur looking at this, man. Get back on your grind on your boxing, bro. On your boxing. Get back on your jab, man. Setting up your offense, man. You kind of gone away from that. And I'm telling you, that will help you, man. You get back on your jab and your stick and you start countering, you know, again, and setting up and controlling your distance and making dudes miss and making them pay, you're going to be hard to deal with. I'm letting you know that right now. So get back on your boxing tip, bro. And hey, don't worry about what people say, bro. Just prove them all wrong. Trust me, I know how that is, all right? Do you.
I say that all the time. Do you. Fight your fight. And I said it, man. It's cool, you know. Me as a supporter, I know how good the defense is, but that's where I think the most criticism has came from him in recent fights has been from the offensive standpoint. And in that particular fight, I just don't feel like you could afford for your defense or your offense to be spotty. Like that's gonna make the fight extremely difficult. Like that's what Tim Bradley is saying, setting up your shots, getting back to the jab. I think he got a really good jab, possibly a little underrated. I ain't about to say whose is better than. I let the people argue about that, but he got a pretty damn good jab, and and when his offense is clicking, he's pretty damn sharp. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it before. That's why people speaking on it, because the shit that you're asking him to do, what Tim Bradley is talking about, is not like he hasn't shown you. Just we need to see it now. You know what I'm saying? We need to see it at 35.
Got away from it.
Was one fight. We need to see it now. So
yeah, he's been trying to become like a little bit of a showstopper, but at the end of the day, he should fight the way he fights. There's a big difference between excitement and skills. Rigondeaux, people don't find him exciting, but when skill-wise, when Rigondeaux was on his game, that kid was nasty.
Now that clip right there,
that kid was super nasty.
That one was from some hours ago, before I came up here. It was like recent. It was a recent one. It was a fight.
I think he said
that was like
the,
up to date.
Espinoza fight.
That's up to date. Him saying that.
After that Navarrete and Oscar Valdez card.
To be honest with you, I think Tank is the same way. We look at the results, but you look at a lot of Tank's fights, they're not overly exciting. They're not like overly action packed. I feel like it's the suspense more than anything. Look at that round where he dropped Ryan in the second round of that fight. He only threw 6 punches in that whole round. In 3 minutes, he threw 6 punches.
Okay, I can see that.
He just made
in the full fight with him and Rolly. I think they only threw like 40 punches or some shit like that. I know it ended in the 6th, but I think he landed like 26 out of 40 punches or some shit.
Facts.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right. That's for Tank is probably in knockout, right?
No, he don't be out there just pressing guys out. And I think that's the other thing too. I think you look at Shakur like he's exclusively on the back foot, which is not the case. You rewatch the Nakashima fight, he wasn't exclusively on the back foot. You look at the Conceição fight, he wasn't exclusively on the back foot.
Right.
Most recently against Artem, he wasn't exclusively on the back foot. There's that one fight, Yoshino, he wasn't exclusively on the back foot. Hell, you can argue that Tank probably fights on the back foot more than Shakur has over the past few years. The Rolly fight, he was on the back foot. The Ryan fight, he was on the back foot. Outside of the Frank Martin fight,
Barrios fight, he was on the back foot.
Definitely.
Ryan fight,
and you know why they call
him walking his ass
real,
down,
right?
And he was staying close. He went on the back foot that whole Ryan fight.
But you know why they call Shakur born for? It's not really because of the movement. It's really because he sort of like whitewashes fighters, and historically speaking, when fighters are like that, where they just like whitewash them like 12 zip, people will tend to always call them boring because it seems like they're cheating almost. Like they got some kind of weird cheat code, and they're not.
That's a weird way of saying that, boxing hacker. I just wanted to chime in. I'm about to head to work and shit. But listen, that's a weird way of saying that. At the end of the day, I don't think that's the case. I think they call him boring because it's just a way to distract the world from seeing an exciting fight with him. Shakur's been nothing but exciting. He throws some powerful shots. He's usually high output. That De Los Santos fight was the perfect exposure for people to just say he's a runner. You know what I mean? He's a track star. But at the end of the day, Shakur's always been an exciting fighter. You've always been looking for him to land a big punch or get the knockout. He just outlands his opponents. He's been doing the same thing that any other fighter's been doing. I don't think. Go ahead.
No, you good. Here's the difference there, Ray. Shakur's fights, fight fans like conflict, They like to see conflict in the ring, like somebody gets hurt and they sort of fight back. Shakur will go 12-0 and like it feels like the other guy didn't do nothing,
Well,
like,
that's not his fault.
Like,
He's
can't even touch him.
Right. But he's also
part of conflict.
Yeah, but he's defensive. He's just defensively sound. He's an Olympian, so he has the experiences and the abilities to do that. He has the highest peak of amateur boxing career. So he's going to show holes in people's games. He studies the game. He studies the tapes, the films, all those things. He nitpicks. He has a great IQ, and when you have those things, you're able to expose your opponent. He got hit with shots before. It's not like he's ever been a fighter that never got hit or hurt in the ring. He has.
But you know what I mean? Conflict that's missing. Devin was a little bit more action packed than Shakur, but people still call Devin boring as well because like prior to the Ryan fight, because Devin would do almost the same thing. He win most of the rounds, you know. And
I disagree there too. I think a lot of people call Devin boring because he hasn't had a knockout in so long. Devin decided that he wanted to put the knockout gloves on for, or whatever the case was. He lost power at the weight division because he was shrinking down. Whatever the case may be, people put that title on him. Devin's never been a boring fighter, in my opinion. Because when you're boxing, which is the name of the sport, that's exciting. When you're able to tag people and not get hit, people are happy with that. Walter Payton was a great running back. Why? Because not only could he run over you, but he could also shake you and bake you, make your ankles break, right? Same thing with Barry Sanders.
Y'all in the comments, ain't gonna be no slander now, man. Y'all, that's what's wrong with boxing right there, man. That's the slander. You could not like him. You could keep saying he's boring. No argument from me. I can't tell you what's exciting to you, but he's good.
Right.
He's a damn
right.
winner. If he was getting his head knocked around, they'd be talking about he get hit too much. You want me to point? Case in point, Tank is exciting to y'all, right? But you got people that say you get hit too much. Boots is exciting, right? You got people that say you got hit too much in this last fight. You can't have it both ways, bro. I'm telling you, man. I really believe this. This is no excuse to him. His offense need to be on top of his game when he fight a guy like Tank. There is no in between.
Yeah,
that guy is good. He's so much better than these guys who've been in the ring with that y'all have no choice but to complain. In no other sport will a guy win 10, 11 rounds relatively easy, and the only thing people cry about is a knockout. And we talking about a pure boxer, and you demanding knockouts because he sold you one. I watched him. I seen every single one of them fights. I ain't let him sell me on that shit. I know what he was talking. He tried. He didn't do it. He came close. He had his guy hurt a couple times. He ain't finished the job. But he didn't sell me on that. I wasn't disappointed. Like, man, he was supposed to. Nah, he wasn't supposed to do nothing. All this, he's supposed to knock a guy out that never been stopped. I don't get He beat his ass. That's what he was supposed to do. It's boxing, not knockout. The knockout is the cherry on top. That's what Tank did. That's how we love him. Shakur is going to outclass you, and you just got to accept it. You can look at it for what it is. It's boxing, bro. He's that much better than these guys. I ain't trying to hear that slander, man. That's wild.
Right.
I think some people
Just
I'm
about to tap out. Can I just tap in? I'm about to tap out. Oh, just to your point, boxing is what it is, right? Because they use their hands to win fights, right? They don't have to sit there and knock people out. Knocking people out is taking a risk. When you take those risks, you have an opportunity to get knocked out yourself. So when you're cautious in the win, you're going to look better than the other fighter at the end of the day. The person taking the risk is usually the guy that loses most of the time, unless you happen to capitalize on your win. It's a 50-50 chance. So we doing too much.
A guy that don't want to get battered. That's
Ray
all.
Davis. Here's my pushback to that. Because I agree with you in principle. And I think that Shakur Stevenson is a fantastic fighter. So this is not even about him. This is just about the idea in itself. It's Ant McQueen. There are times, not just with him, but just any fighter, like my guy Africa. If you make the guy miss and he's out of position to defend himself, you gotta tax him.
I agree.
And sometimes guys like that, like they're just too safety first, which I don't mind them being safe because it's not me who has to be pissing out blood. It's not me who has to be walking around the house with ice on my fucking eye or my head. I'm not the one getting my orbital bone smashed in, so I get the whole safety thing. But there are times where guys are overly defensive, and I understand take caution, but you got a guy winging a big ass right hand. He's wide open, his feet are squared up, his chin is on the platter, and he's damn near begging you to counter him.
I agree.
Put something on him.
And McQueen, and just so you I understand, I agree with that also. So what I was saying was not totally that, but I did say that, so I'm gonna own it, right? What I'm also saying is, and to your point is, yes, when that's open, you have to take that chance. But sometimes they get so comfortable in the fighting, creatures have it, right? They get comfortable in the way they're fighting. So that way, those things happen like that. But you also got to understand that when those things are there, they do need to take those chances. And they do need to take those opportunities. And that's when you get those fights and you win them. But when you're sitting there and thinking that a fighter should always have to take those chances on a regular, is what I'm saying. Like all the time, that's when it becomes more of an issue.
I'm not saying be reckless. I'm not saying be reckless.
Yeah,
But
yeah, that's what I'm getting at. That's what I'm getting at. That's for the excitement part.
A guy like,
I think I understand where Ray's getting at. You know,
when
because
you
I'm talking about the excitement.
Let me say this real quick, Boxing Hacker, because I know you're a Devin Haney guy. Like when you look at Devin Haney, right? When he knocked out Antonio Moran, you see how he knocked him out. He knocked him out while Moran was loading up a left hook, and he punched him between his shot. I don't feel like Devin Haney is pillow fisted. I don't feel like Shakur Stevenson is pillow fisted. I don't feel like Africa is pillow fisted. We just saw every time he put a right hand on Paro, he was stopping him dead in his tracks. The thing is, when you see the guys that get knocked out, it's typically by a shot that they're not able to brace for. When they're opening up and they're out of position or they can't defend themselves. And guys like that, I feel like that's what keeps them from taking themselves to the next level in an entertainment factor. Now, me personally, I love pure boxers, so I don't knock them for doing what they do.
I agree.
You know what's different?
Hold on, real quick. Let me catch this. A1, shout out to my guy. Appreciate the love, fam. He said, man, F all that ish. As a fan of the sport, I watch Floyd fights with intrigue of seeing boxing and skills on display. Floyd ain't no KO artist, and they enjoyed it. And I get it because the pushback A1, well, he ain't no Floyd. He don't got to be, but he displayed the sweet science at a high level. And I think, I don't question nobody's boxing knowledge, but I listen to the coaches of boxing, and a lot of the coaches that speak on him seem to have a very different take and outlook on him than the average fan. And so, it's night and day. It's night and day, yo. The shit that I see, the shit that I heard, the shit that I know take place, is night and day. So I get it, man. People just want to see it under the light. So I'm with it, man. I'm with y'all. I want to see it.
And we ain't never got to box again. Well. I already been getting these bets, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
But Aaron, you know there's a difference between what
I don't think nobody in their right mind is saying that Tank won't hit him. But I think the only fair question is it going to be the kill shot?
Somebody's phone ringing.
That's all. Yeah, somebody's phone going off. Is it going to be the kill shots? Right? He's definitely going to land. There's no possible way he's getting out of that fight without getting punched.
Somebody please answer.
Look, check this out.
Let
me get this in right quick. Think about it even in simpler terms, man. You're a matchmaker. Most people look at a Tank fight and he looks like he's losing the first four or five rounds while he's downloading information. You got a fighter in Shakur who doesn't lose rounds. This is a risky fight if you're the guy, the matchmaker that's putting the fight on. It's not that Tank can't win, it's just risky. I don't think nobody's saying that Tank can't win. It's just a risky fight. That's why we're not seeing the fight. You see what I mean? They're being very careful. People gotta understand, when you call a guy a face of boxing, why would you put him at risk? He's the face of boxing. He's bringing in a lot of money. They're not going to put him at risk. But let me tell you something about the Lamont Roach fight. We watched Canelo have a cherry pick gone wrong. And this Lamont Roach fight is a cherry pick. So I don't be surprised. That's all I would say. Don't be surprised. Because you keep sitting at the bottom of the barrel, you get muddy sometimes. But look, hey, thank you for letting me come up. Just do, man. I'm about to get out of here, man. Shout out to the panel, man. And you got to subscribe, bro.
Anyway, man, salute to everybody. This was another dope build anyway, man. But y'all definitely could get y'all final words before we get up out of here.
Too rich.
Yeah.
I feel what you're saying. I agree with you. The only thing I don't agree with is the fact that it's a cherry pick. But anything can happen, man. When you in there at the world level and these guys got skills, they got experience, and they got pedigree of their own, anything can happen. We flash back to 1972. A lot of people won't be able to tell you who the hell Esteban de Jesus is, but that's the dude who gave Roberto Duran his first loss at lightweight, where he was arguably at his best. Many people consider him to be the greatest lightweight of all time. So if the greatest lightweight of all time can lose to another dude who has skills, who the hell is Tank Davis to be exempt from that? Nobody is beyond reproach. We're talking about guys punching each other in the heads, punching each other in the bodies. The sport is extremely volatile, and it only takes one shot.
For sure.
Right. And not to mention, to double down on that, is Tank never been hit to the body or tested to the body. So we don't even know how that rocks out. You know what I mean? Tank's been always very, very cautious when he approaches, keeps his distance, and knows how to attack. He's a damn predator in the ring. I give Tank all the credit in the world for that too. He is definitely a predator, and you know what I mean. And he knows how to hunt. And When you know how to hunt, you know how to do it without risk, right? Like a cat, like a wildcat. So I give that man all the respect for that.
Speak on it, Ray.
You know what I mean? So I'm not going to say that he's not that or he can't, you know what I mean? He can't win or can't do this. What I'm saying is at that time, if he fights Shakur, what happens is usually you have the boxer usually out fights the puncher, right? But Tank's not only a puncher, he also has skill set to box. So when you have a guy that's a double-edged sword and he can go in there and do both, it makes him very dangerous as well. The matchmaking, I do agree with the matchmaking thing. I think there are some holes that his team knows about that most people don't see. These guys are sparred, so they see each other in sparring, so they have some idea of each other. But at the end of the day, we have to see what happens when they get in the ring instead of speculating on who's going to win. You know what I mean? I get it. Guessing is fun. You know what I mean? Picking a winner is fun. But at the end of the day, we have to understand that they didn't fight yet. And until they fight, we're just sitting here just speculating on what's going to happen at the end of the day. So, you know what I mean? I want to see him fight I don't care who it is. All the great fights. And they all great fights. Roach is a great fight. You know what I mean? Do I like the Roach fight?
It's not. It is. Roach is a damn
It
good
is.
fighter.
It's a great fight. It's somebody that has history. Right. It has history. He knows Tank. He knows his ins and outs. He knows Twitch. He might know Twitch
Ryan
history.
and Devin was when they was familiar with each other.
Right.
People are looking for the name instead of the matchup, right? And we gotta get back to bigging up matchups, man. Matchups, styles, like how they gonna mesh. Not what you think the end result. So what? The hell with the end result. You win. So what? He's more proven.
But Ryan and Devin were like 3-3 in the amateur. Roach just has 0-2 to
He's a damn good fighter.
It doesn't matter. He sparred with him. He sparred with him all the time, and he fought him. You know what I mean? It ain't just the fights that they had in the amateur. He sparred with him a lot. They know the telltale signs of each other. And now he's a professional. They have no headgear, so they're more reluctant not to keep their head in there to get hit. So that changes everything. Their gloves are smaller, so they're actually, you know what I mean, those punches hurt more. So now if I target you or hit you a certain spot, it's going to change everything. But, you know, that's what it is. Yo, I'm going to get up out of here. Thank you, Just. Thank you, the panel, for having me. Salute everybody. Headed to that job to punch that clock, bro.
Definitely appreciate you, bro.
All right, peace out.
My brother Mike Kirkland, always supporting the boxing, always building boxing, man. Appreciate you for always supporting me building on boxing. And today made 3 years, 3 years we've been at it.
And we ain't never got a box again. Well, I already been getting these back, but now it's time for you to get your just do.
Man, shout out to y'all for not trashing fight, bro. Shout out to y'all for not trashing.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say about Shakur. Why he be getting so much backlash? It's probably because he be promising knockouts and shit, and then he get in there and perform.
I mean, but shit, if you
But
think about it,
all
he
the
only
time,
done that shit once.
Yeah, he said he was gonna beat the shit out of De Los Santos, and then like, he had that
fighter
performance.
People say they're gonna whoop their fighter and lose.
People be hanging on.
I know that, but
that's
I'm like
that's like when
when
the
they
fighters
asked
say they
Devin
gonna
Haney
punish somebody, but they just end up stopping them. We don't flip out, right? Like
Floyd said he was gonna knock out everybody, but he still
as
just
long as you
knocked
win and win impressively and don't struggle, I think that's the bigger story. But you definitely don't want to be promising knockouts and not delivering for sure. You don't want to.
But just some people promise to knock out and lose the
because
whole fight.
You don't need to put that type.
Nobody
of
knows what's gonna happen at the end of the day.
Feel like you were feeding into the fans with that one. Like you ain't got to do that, bro. You are who you are, man. Phenomenal top level boxer, and you'll get a knockdown, and if the knockout come, you'll get one. It ain't like you can't. Just like the guys out there in the ring with him say. They say he can't punch, but she said, the guy said you don't see nobody just running up in there. So until I see that, I refuse to believe he can't punch or keep somebody off him. And again, we was just hearing this shit with Richardson Hitchens in parallel. Man, it was loud and proud in the chat. Man, he ain't got enough just to keep him off him. I'm like, okay. I keep on thinking people pillow fisted and thinking getting punched in the face feel good. I don't know why.
Like they gonna just walk through.
I know you ain't never been punched because you wouldn't be screaming that shit. People that don't know what it's like to get punched be saying pillow fisted. I get it. If the fighters gonna say it, that's one thing. But me as a fight fan, what I look like talking about you can't. I could say you're not a puncher, but pillow fisted is a bit far. You seen Regis say that shit about Devin, and the fight happened. He got dropped. What did he say after the fight? When they asked him, could he punch? Oh no, he can punch. I ain't good. You get me? So somebody got some feedback too.
Yeah, I want
feedback. Crazy feedback. But man, shout out to everybody, man. Appreciate y'all, man. But y'all can get our final words too before we get up out of here.
I'm gonna slide. Appreciate you bringing me up, folks.
Always, man. You always welcome up, bro.
For sure. All right, everybody else on the panel. Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day.
Shout out to you, bro.
Indeed.
Appreciate you, fam.
Yeah, salute to everybody on the panel, man. I just want to thank you for having me here. Salute
Always.
to everybody in the chat, yo.
Always, my guy. Shout out to you. Floyd was saying I'm gonna beat your ass and I'm gonna punish you. I can remember a time he said he's gonna knock you out. I could be wrong. Yeah, he do that.
Yeah, everybody, I think everybody does that. You know, there's a big
That's why
difference.
I guess when you court, you gotta know the climate. Like they hang on to everything he said.
I think it's only because the tank fight's on the horizon. That's why people are very
Floyd
critical.
said that to Arturo Gatti, and he did.
Yeah, he did punish him though. Didn't he? Beat his ass.
Yeah. Floyd also probably said the Carlos Bosman.
He got it there, whooped
I
those.
don't think that's a good analogy because Floyd was really smart marketing himself.
Shout out to you. Appreciate y'all pulling up for the double duty today too, man. We put the work in today, man. This was a fun conversation. We're gonna continue tomorrow. We're gonna close the week out with another build, man. We dropped the link. We're gonna chop it up again. That's what this is for, man. I like to hear what the people think, man. So shout out to y'all for coming over to build with your boy, man. And salute to everybody that hit the super chat cash app for the second time around again. And we gonna be back tomorrow. Y'all already know. So with that, shout out to everybody in the building, man. Much love to y'all. BVO should be on at 8 o'clock. Rod's podcast at 9. We just gonna keep building. Shout out to everybody that's in the raffle. One more time on the way out. Just know it's not having away the entire bag. And like I said, if you cash out $10 or more, I'm entering you in the raffle. Kyle Cooley, you just did it. I'm entering you in the raffle. Much love to you. So you ain't got to do nothing extra, man. I hope you win, man. So again, appreciate all the support, man. We'll be back tomorrow to build on this boxing, man. He said, panel, y'all stupid. Peace to the queen of reigning, man. Cal Cooler, my guy. Cash in the building. my son middle name is Cash. For real. Hey, appreciate you, bro. And make sure you get with me about that. And I got you. I'll make sure you good. Cal Coolidge, you already know, family. And the rest of y'all, man. Much love to y'all, man. I'll be with y'all tomorrow. Peace to the fam.
Yo, you know the deal. We back again. We never slacking. Word 'em up. Ladies and guys, whether if you drunk or you high, it's time to pay respects to the illest man alive. If you think you got a...
The JBT is back at it again, y'all. This time, amazing raffle for the holidays. You know, replenish the pocket. Sometimes things go grim and, you know, you spend a little bit more than you anticipated, but we're here to help you out. $5 to get you in, $20 to get you in 5 times for winner takes half. Hold on. I didn't know that was the details, y'all. Hold on. Cut.
Hey, Remo.
Hey, yo, Karen, why y'all ain't let me know that the prize was winner takes half? Now, this is dope.
It's been running for some time now, silly.
Is JBT a content creator ought to get into this?
Absolutely not. Are you crazy?
No.
Nope.
Wow, that's crazy.
No content creator, just JBT supporters. Sorry.
Whatever. Bye. Like I was saying, $5 to get you in 1 time, $20 to get you in 5 times. Winner takes half. Can't win if you don't play, man. Jump in the raffle. JBT Network 1 is the way you get in. Leave your name and the means of contact. And enjoy the holidays.
Man, shout out to the JBT fam and everybody that's in the raffle, man. Best of luck to y'all. $5 to get you in the raffle. And not half the bag, the entire bag. So best of luck to everybody that's supporting, man. Salute to the lucky winner, man. And the winner will be picked December 21st, y'all. So with that, we going to get up out of here this time. See y'all tomorrow, 4 p.m. Eastern time. Y'all already know. We out.